And we're back. Will, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm excited. I am very, very, very excited.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, haven't we?
We do. Judging by how many notes I've made on this, we could be here a while. So it's if you are listening to this, then you probably should go and make a cup of coffee, do whatever you need to do, perhaps grab a glass of wine, and then come back because yeah, we're gonna wax lyrical for a while. What we're gonna talk about, Will?
We are going to talk about the summer reveal
The summer reveal of what?
of Warhammer.
All of the Warhammer.
All of the Warhammer.
Is it more Warhammer more often?
I mean, I wish it was more often.
Yeah, well, me too. So the summer preview happened at this point at the time of recording. That would have been last Friday. So we're not that far out from our hour. We've got a couple of days. And there's been some mixed receptions online. We're not going to talk about those. We're going to give our specific reactions, thoughts, feelings, and opinions on pretty much everything, I think. We'll cover some stuff in more detail, but...
Yeah, we've got some mixed reactions just between the two of us as well, actually, haven't we? So,
Well, absolutely. I can't wait to talk about Titus's helmet.
I mean, write your own punchlines there.
Let's jump straight in and run through in the order of release, I guess. So, from the previews that happened, it looks like it was bang on, and we got a reveal of a new army for Age of Sigmar.
Certainly did, yeah. I mean, we're going to go, are we going to go in chronological order? Is that the right term?
Yeah, chronological order of what they talked about. I think we'll go in. We should have sorted this out beforehand, but well, we did, kind of. Well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Age of Sigmar army was kind of what we were waiting for more than anything, but I think I got, more than expected from that video. So
yeah, I think we both got a lot more than was expected. But well, I tell you what, before we jump into it, you know what we should do?
Go on.
We should say thank you to the people that have reached out and interacted with us already after what, 1-2 episodes. Well, one episode, because the first episode, well, let's face it, guys, it wasn't great. We didn't know if we were even going to carry on at that point. So yeah, after one episode, and
it was a test that we decided to put out, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the interactions we've had online, the amount of people we've had listening, really was unexpected. You know, the amount of hours that people have put into listening to us and that have started following us on Instagram. Yeah, it's way beyond my estimations at this point. So yeah, thank you for whoever has listened and whoever is still listening now. It means a lot.
Totally, yeah. And the same, we've had a fair number of people following us on YouTube. So wherever you're listening, thank you. We do appreciate it. We definitely didn't expect it. But it's certainly motivated us, I think, to carry on doing it, hasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I mean, we've covered this already, but these are the conversations that we have, and we just thought we can't be the only people in the world that want to have these discussions like we do. So yeah, thanks for listening, and hopefully, you get something out of this one too, because we are excited to talk about what has been released.
Absolutely. And if you do have any questions and you want us to talk about those questions, anything that we don't cover, drop us an email, warhammerandwings@gmail.com as does, I think, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. It's AND, not the ampersand, so it's Warhammer ANDwings@gmail.com. So yeah, feel free to drop us an email.
Or you can hit us up on the socials, slide into our DMs, do whatever it is that people do these days.
Yep.
We do appreciate it, and we'll perhaps talk about anything that anybody sends in, if anybody sends in the next episode.
Yeah.
But for now, we're going to have to talk about the summer release, I think, aren't we? The summer preview, and specifically, in the first instance, Chaos Dwarfs, or as they're going to be known now, the Hellsmiths of Ashut.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, that's where we're starting. I'm just going to put this out. I was sorely disappointed with this. I was super excited to get some more little fellas on the table, but yeah, initial excitement turned into disappointment for me. Yeah, what do you think? First impressions?
I don't think I'm as disappointed as you. I think I have opinions. From what I've seen online, and I don't want to go too far into what other people are saying, so this is wholly going to be my own opinion. I'm definitely not going to be collecting the army. No, that's for certain. But I'm excited for it in some respects. And also, I'm a little bit confused in some other respects. I know you were really looking to kind of jump onto an army, weren't you, and kind of have something new. After your love for Fire Slayers might have been misplaced, depending on what happens with them this edition.
Yeah.
But okay, so what do I think of them? Well, overall, I think, as you say, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I'm not sure what I was expecting. So in terms of the release of the range, and we're having this conversation for the first time now. We've not talked about this previous to this. We have certainly been keeping this one for the podcast. I think the range is interesting overall. I think there's a good mix of units in there, but for me, it just doesn't do it. It's different enough from the old Chaos Dwarfs, I think.
Yeah.
That it's been brought up to date, but there's something lacking. It doesn't feel Age of Sigmar, and I don't know what that means.
No, I agree with that. I think for me, it's purely by design. The sculpts, they don't seem like Age of Sigmar, just as you rearrange your chair, if anybody heard that. But there's just a lot of smooth surfaces, to me, they look a bit like cheap plastic toys, you know, that you'd get sort of knockoff Home Bargains style stuff. You know, not to throw shade at Home Bargains, far from it, but do you know what I mean? You know, not sort of third party toys almost, you know. I was disappointed. You know, I really loved Dwarves in a lot of fictional settings. For one, if you listen to us last time, neither of us expected them to be chaos aligned. We were really thinking that that wouldn't be the case. So it kind of threw my proposition out altogether because that's not really what I'm interested in. But if we're talking about the visual aspect, I just didn't like the sculpts. Just not for me. I think the lore sounds really cool by all means, but yeah, it wasn't what I expected. It is a difference from the previous Chaos Dwarfs, but yeah, it just didn't hit the mark for me, personally.
I totally get where you're coming from. I think you've hit the nail on the head for me there. The aesthetic of it seemed too clean for what they are. However, I'm going to play a bit of devil's advocate here and thinking about the lore aspect, and we only know really what's being told from that preview and a little bit more that was released in the article. I liked where they've gone on that. They sort of, yes, they are definitely Chaos aligned. They said canonically they are in the Grand Alliance of Chaos. Fantastic. But they see themselves as more as Order. So I think that marries the aesthetic a little bit more. I kind of get that there, that they haven't fallen quite as far. The chaotic aspect comes across in the tusks and some of the lighter mutations there. However, I don't think it works.
I agree. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I think the models will sell really well. I've seen a lot of love for them online. It's just not for me. You know, I think the lore sounds really cool, and I'm interested to see what they bring out, sort of novelizations, and you know, to read in the battle tome. But it just doesn't do it for me. I'm a bit salty that these guys immediately have a bigger range than my beloved Fire Slayers also. But yeah, I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to go through the different units and sort of chat about that? I mean, I've got opinions on them.
Yeah. I think there's definitely some things that I would be interested to hear what you've got to say. I think just before we do that, I've got a couple of observations that I've made about the overall army, the Hellsmiths.
Helmsmiths of Heshut.
Is it Helmsmiths or Hellsmiths?
Helmsmith.
Is it Helmsmiths?
Yeah,
Hellsmiths.
Helm with an M.
Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes more sense. I thought it was Hellsmiths.
No, Helm.
Well, then, that's me told. So, you touched on the sculpts looking a little bit weird, and I totally agree with you there. They feel to me more in line with the look of them, of things like the ogres and the giants. Funnily enough, and I'm personally feel that those factions are going to disappear from AoS. So I don't quite get it. The one exception to that with what was revealed, and we'll touch on it as we talk about the individual units, was the Hobgrots, which I still don't think have got the same aesthetic of the Oryx.
No.
Which I was hoping for. But there's something about the details on these look muddy. They look thicker.
Yeah.
Just it doesn't have the same finesse of detailing that we've seen in the recent releases. And I think that for me, the standouts in the AoS range at the moment are the newer Stormcast, certainly the Skaven.
Yeah.
The Oryx I know they don't get like a lot of love, but the actual quality of the sculpts is so different to everything else. And the newer releases of the Soulblight, in some respects, Cursita, that aesthetic and the delicacy of the details, the finesse of the details, doesn't seem to have carried over into these sculpts, or at least with this paint job onto it, and that is going to have a huge impact. But I wonder how much the marketing and playing into a wider target audience, a more diverse age range, and appealing to a larger sector of the market has played into some of that. So I think they could have certainly have tightened some of the details. The tusks could have been pointier. The active males could have been pointier, etc.
I didn't think about it till you just said it, but now you've said it, it seems like a kid-friendly army.
Right.
Yeah, until you just said that, yeah.
And this is going to sound like really I should have had a soundbite for this, but they look like naughty boys. She'd be like,
You know,
you're being a proper naughty boy.
they don't look typically evil. Yeah, you know, compared to some of the Chaos Line factions that we've got. Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it.
So the lore then,
Mm.
I have a couple of questions here. I'm sure we could have talked about the lore later on, but let's this one I think is going to interest you.
Well,
And I specifically didn't ask you about up until now, right? So like the lore does sound quite interesting, as you say, and I'm interested to see where it goes. I don't think the characters that they've revealed interest me overly, but the overarching lore. Now, the juxtaposition of where these stand in the dwarven hierarchy. So these guys next to the Slayers and the Overlords. Specifically, where does Grombrindle stand on this? How do they interact with Grombrindle? What's going on? Because they're still Droadin, aren't they?
yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with it really, because you know his whole shtick at the moment was trying to unify them, wasn't he? I mean,
right,
you know, and if we have been told overtly now that these are chaos aligned, how does that work? I mean, are they lining something up for? Surely they're not lining it up for the next edition of AoS already. They're not going to bring in a chaos line faction to immediately change them, are they? Unless they change something radically. I can't see it.
well, I don't know. So from the conversations that I've had with you about Grombrindle and the dwarfs, which admittedly I don't know very much about, then so I go on your knowledge, relaying it to me, and the bits of information I've read from things like the Chronicles of Grombrindle I read recently.
Yeah.
What I get is Grombrindle's a deity, almost like a demigod. He's not quite up there in the pantheon. But
Yeah.
I'm also getting that with Hashut, that he, like, how does that work? One of the other questions that I have now is the pantheon of gods in the mortal realms felt like it started off being quite limited, and they've just grown and grown and grown, and now we've got Hashut in there. When we talk about the pantheon, we're mostly talking about the chaos gods, but then obviously we've got all the elven gods. We've got Sigmar himself.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how all this works. I'm really intrigued, and I'm hoping Games Workshop are going to start putting out some more lore that's expanding on how these work mechanically, almost
If we
into the story.
Yeah, I suppose, with, Hashut being a dwarven deity, you've got Grimnir and is it Grunny? Is that how you say it? Grugny?
Grimly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Grugny. Yeah. So yeah, because Grombrindle is the manifestation of Grugny, not Grimnir. Yeah, I think I've got that the right way around, yeah. So yeah, okay, I didn't think of it that way. But yeah, maybe they are teasing something along them lines. But I don't know. I mean, I suppose it does open up a new line of Black Library fiction if Grombrindle is going to get involved with the Hashut fellas somewhere down the line. But
I mean, who knows? I'm wondering if this is leading into. I know this is very early days because we're still. I mean, we're only 1 year into 4th edition. I'm wondering if they're laying the groundwork for the larger narrative going forward. Because at the moment, it feels like the ever present that we're setting. Certainly, the battle tomes seem to be written in the manner of the ever present. Certainly, the 4 that I've read, in 4th edition. All the stories are now and what's happening now, and they all seem to be centered around things that are happening in Shaiish and things that are going on with Nagash and him coming back. So that being the larger grand narrative, and then things that are happening with Archaon kind of getting a little bit involved, that seems very tangential to what's been hinted at perhaps with this new release. The release doesn't fit in with the grand narrative to me. I mean, I know this is driven by models and what the marketing team done. But I'm assuming somewhere in Games Workshop there is like a larger plan as to where they want to go with the story, and they're going to progress it continually. In which case, if that is what they're doing, I'm perhaps not reading too much into it, and am I going to get too invested in the Shaiish side of things and what's going on there when they're going to shift over here and pivot? But the universe is so expansive. I think there's a lot of opportunity there to tell all these really interesting stories, and I want them to expand on not just the characters, but the world, how those mechanics work.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. I think, I think you're right to look deeper, even though these have only just been hinted at, and we've only just got this selection of these new guys. It does lead into a wider conversation of where it is going to go. Excuse me. You would like to think that they are only going to, continue growing that range, but at this point we just don't know. So it is nice to speculate, but I mean, for me, then they're not going to be an army that I buy either. Which I thought, when the rumors came out, I really thought that it would be something that I was going to be spending a lot of money on, but it's kind of reaffirmed me in the decision that I've made to kind of go a different way anyway, which has happened organically, which we will touch on at some point. But
Yeah, and let's keep that for a future episode, 'cause
Mm.
I'm really excited to talk about that as well. And it's kind of, let's stay to the dwarfs today.
we'll stick to the
Stay to the dwarfs.
Yeah.
So the other two things that I'm interested in, I'm sure we'll find out when these go up for pre-order in a couple of months. I'm not expecting them to go up for pre-order for 3 months, maybe.
Okay.
So I reckon it'll be end of summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
End of summer into autumn when we see these guys who've still got the battle tomes that I don't think are going to get new army releases.
Yeah.
That have hinted at first. I think they'll come at the end of that roadmap. But
Mm.
there's a couple of things that have to come with this army box that we've not seen yet. So we're gonna get a couple of more releases previewed. So we're gonna have to get the faction terrain.
Yep.
Which I'm intrigued by, and the
Oh.
manifestations.
I didn't think of that. I mean, arguably the faction terrain could be shared with Fire Slayers, you would think. With the what do you call it now?
The Magmic Fireforge.
Magmic Fireforge. I've been referring to it as the Dwarven Pizza Oven.
I mean, it looks like one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'd think they could share that, but
Maybe with an upgrade kit.
possibly. Yeah, I
Do a
didn't think
big
of that.
hat.
I mean, what else could they do?
I don't know.
I don't think they can share the endless spells though, can they?
No, the endless spell.
Oh.
I think they're going to use the Beastmen endless spells because bulls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Still think that. I think we touched
Yeah.
on it in the last episode. Didn't we? I'm convinced that might be the case. But I was thinking about the faction terrain, and there was I've not looked it up. I feel like I should probably do that. There's something about bellows in my head. I'm sure there was something years ago with the old release of the Chaos Dwarfs way back when. I'm sure I saw in White Dwarf there was either a vehicle or some piece of artillery where it was with some like giant bellows.
Okay.
That would be kind of cool to see it come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A forge obviously makes sense. I mean, it even makes more sense for these guys
Yeah.
than the Fire Slayers.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. I don't know actually. Yeah, I mean, I could see it going one or two ways. They could get something completely brand new, or they could share that. I really don't know at this point, but yeah, I mean, it's a good. It's a very valid point that they are going to have to release something, aren't they? Because it's a core mechanic of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can't not have them there. So
Mm.
I think that's everything that I've got in terms of questions, thoughts, and opinions. So should we have a look at each of the individual units? Because I think there is some stuff there worth talking about, and it would be doing them a disservice because, well, I have some opinions. I'm sure you have
Yeah.
some opinions as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, straight off the bat, Dominator engine. Looks like a big old fat Necron to me. I don't know what you think about it, but
That's the big bull thing, isn't it?
It is,
Dominator,
yeah.
Dominator engine.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, this is where we have differences of opinion. I think this looks really cool.
Yeah?
I think it looks really, really cool. Yeah, I want to paint this, and I don't know if this is because of I like the green. I think you'll get Necron because of the green,
Oh yeah,
the green
absolutely,
glow.
Yeah.
But I like the way that they've done a very Games Workshop glow style on this.
Mm.
I do like the color palette they've used on this, which is counter to pretty much everything else in this range, to be honest.
Yeah.
This one model I do genuinely think looks quite cool. I know what you mean about it looking a bit rotund, but that fits in with the aesthetic of them.
Yeah, I just there's something about that to me that it just does not, let alone Age of Sigmar, it doesn't scream Warhammer to me. I think if you showed me that out of context, I would have thought that would be, a third party 3D print personally. I mean, I can't tell from the pictures on almost its thighs. there's sort of etchings, but I don't know if that's within the mold or if that's somebody's painted some writing on it.
No, they're molded in, dude.
They're molded in. I mean, I suppose that's good, but yeah, to me, I don't know. There's something about it. Just, I can't even put my finger on what it is, to be honest, because all the moving parts are there to make it sound really cool for me. But yeah, there's something about it that I just can't click with.
I'm genuinely there. I like both variants of it, and it really reminds me of is it called Vulgra Thrice Cursed from the Galapox Infected kill team from a couple of years back.
Oh, I don't know.
So he's like a big, like nurgly looking guy with, I think he had 3 heads, 3 little super derpy heads. It was one of the bigger characters in the
I'll
box
look
set.
that up.
He had like a furnace in his stomach, and Games Workshop painted it like normally as they do like firefighter, but I painted mine with a green glow like this, and it's like it goes back to that. So I think instantly I've got a parity with how I painted a model that I really liked with this. But then as I looked at this in a little bit more detail after the release, and I kind of sat there and had a cup of coffee, looked at the pictures. The version of the bull with the maces is really, really cool looking, and how they've done the flames coming off of its back, I couldn't kind of get them at first. I was like, "Where's this going?" And as I was recently painting the Ogroid Theridons for my Slaves to Darkness army, they've got this mane running down the back, so they're like bull-based dudes. The fire coming out of the back, the way the smoke plume is going, echoes the way that the mane on a bull's back would go. And I'm like, that's a really nice little detail. You can see it in one of the pictures where you can't see it front on, you can't see it straight from the back. It just looks like smoke going up. But that was a level of thought that had been put into the sculpt to add an additional detail to make it read as what it was supposed to be, which is this big old bull robot centaur thing. In a really interesting way that I hadn't seen pulled out in any of the other models in the range. So for me, this is a home run. I really like this. I think if the rest of the army looked as good as this bad boy, I'd be there for it.
Is it strange how we have such different opinions on this? Historically, I'm the fan of dwarves and you're not, but you like these and I don't.
I'm not saying I like them. Overall, it's a no from me for the army, but each of the individual models and the sculpts, I can pick things out that I like and dislike. Now, this is definitely one of the highlights of the release for me that we've seen so far. They aren't all the same as this, but yeah, that one I really like.
Okay.
Whereas I can't remember, the War Despot is just, I'm not there for this model.
Which one's that?
The first dude on the release. So it's like, is he like the leader guy? He's got like the big weird
Oh, yeah.
bull-shaped scythe thing.
Yeah. Yeah, again, disappointed. Sorry, it sounds like I'm a bit of a broken record. It just wasn't. I don't really know what the picture I had in my mind of these guys would be. I don't think it was as much smooth metal more than anything, but yeah, just they look almost comical to me, and yeah, it's not doing it for me. I'm looking at the picture of him now, and I know who you mean, but yeah, just there's something I can't quite put my finger on of why I just don't get it. I just do not get it.
There's areas of with this specific one, I think this is really indicative across the range. I mean, perhaps we won't go through each individual model in the range, but there is detail on the models, but the details are not crisp enough and not defined enough that they're too big and they look derpy.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the paint scheme isn't doing them much favors.
Mm-hmm.
They need to look a bit grimy and a bit greasy, and when I say greasy, I mean almost engine grease, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
They look too clean. I mean, I don't want to just sit and bash them, far from it. If we take, is it the Demon Smith? I like him. I think that was a cool model, with the effect with his head turning to stone. That was a nice twist. And that is more Age of Sigmar to me. That seems more on brand than the rest of it. The Hoggrots you mentioned, they look cool. Yeah, just the Bull Centaurs I'm not a fan of. They look a little bit off scale. Almost reminded me of the the off-scale chariots pulling the the off-scale horses pulling the chariot for the Slaves to Darkness model that you've got that you really didn't like for that same reason. They look a bit off-scale and a bit, what's the word? I don't want to say lardy. There must be a better word for it, but
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think you really raise a good point about the oiliness. That is certainly aesthetically when we talk about paint jobs later on. That's certainly something that I want to come back to because you're right there. However, you picked up on something that I feel totally the opposite around. Okay, and that's the difference in scale. I actually made in my notes. I made a specific point about the difference in scale in different units, and that being something that I think would be beneficial because with your fire slayers, I find it really hard to differentiate between any of the units because they're all just little dudes.
Yeah.
With they look nice, you painted them well, but they're all the same. There's nothing that really differentiates them. And even though in this, when you look at all the releases that have got dual build options or triple build options I don't know if there are any triple builds, but at least dual builds, they've differentiated them enough that the silhouettes look significantly different, which is where I think they did trip up somewhat with the Fire Slayers. It was very hard, certainly for me, to differentiate that. Yes, you could pick those out with painting different colored mohawks or something. There's ways around it, but just from a silhouette perspective, I thought the silhouettes for them didn't work. Whereas on these, you've certainly got large units that seem more indicative of their archetype. So I'm assuming the Bull Centaurs, whatever those dudes are called they called the Bull Centaurs?
I think so, yeah.
The Anointed Sentinels and the Infernal Razors. No, they're the other dude. The Anointed Sentinels and the Bull Centaurs, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a dual build kit. I'm assuming that they are like the cavalry kind of element. And they look much bigger. The detail issue is still there. Yes, they look, for all intents and purposes, more rotund.
Rotund is a better term than lardy.
Yeah. But I don't know how much of that is down to the fact that they are meant to look like that because they're dwarven. It's just the fact, it's the softness of the detail. I can't get past this, dude. I genuinely can't. It looks like these were designed years ago.
Yeah.
To fit in with something that's just, I can't get past the fact that you see something with the crispness and sharpness of detail of something like Prince Vordry's face with these tiny little fangs that are clearly defined. And then you've got these that just look...
They don't look aggressive to me. They, I think if you look at the Fire Slayers, there's a lot more movement in the poses. It gives that element that they are running into battle a lot of the time. These guys just look a bit static. The posing seems less dynamic. And I know we've only seen a selection of these models, and yes, everybody's going to build them differently and paint them differently, but they look static. They don't have that sort of dynamism that I would expect. And I guess that probably goes in line with the lore and what they're about. They've got the rocket launchers, they've got their specific cavalry, where the Fire Slayers are just, they have to just make do with what they have because they don't have these units, and they have to be the ones that are constantly moving. But yeah, it's just one of them things. I think for me, it just didn't, it's not what I expected, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big enough realm. Super nerdy. It's a big enough hobby, like we said in the previous one, to kind of have your own takes and opinions. I was just looking very closely at the cavalry option, the Deathstreaker rocket battery, the dual kit build. So this is one of my favorite kits in this range. And what you were saying there, so I think I've picked out what it is that I really don't like about them.
Okay.
And I don't know what the correct term is. I'm sure if anybody's out there that knows what these are called, please do drop us an email, leave us a comment, and tell me what it's called. Like the battle skirts, the things, the dresses, whatever it is they're wearing that are obscuring the legs. So you've lost the height of the model. I know, but the dwarfs that don't have height, but you're shorting them more by just having this cone, and because of the poses all being quite static compared to, like you say, the Fire Slayers. I think you'd have the same problem if you had the same traditional dwarvish kind of chainmail, longer armor thing going on.
That's fair.
And that doesn't work. But there's specifically in that kit, there is a one of the people that are kind of operating the gun, operating the back rate, is stood there with the hands on the hips.
Yeah.
In this T pose kind of.
I see. Yeah, I'm looking at
That
this.
is so classic Warhammer. And it really makes me think again, these models just do not fit in with the Age of Sigmar aesthetic for me.
No, they don't. They look more like almost like the light-hearted comedy style of 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But I'm gonna switch again, dude.
Yeah,
And
go for it.
I'm gonna go back to the Demon Smith.
Okay.
I like this model.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen so far, for me, that's the nicest one. Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, he looks like he's got more character. Oh, sorry, it's the Ashen Elder, I think, is the one that I like.
It's a dual kit build.
So you prefer the Demon Smith to the Ashen Elder?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
I think the Demon Smith looks really boring. I like the thing that you mentioned about his head, and I particularly like, again, this is a detail that I didn't pick up on initially until I've checked again. Look at his staff. The smoke's coming out of the mouth, and it gives it a dwarvy beard blowing to the.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I think for me that one, I think there's just more character in it. There's a bit more life because you can see the full face. You know, nothing sort of obscured by a massive helmet. Yeah, he doesn't have that sort of skirt in the sense that it's, you know, made of chainmail. He's wearing looser robes. But I think you've got more character in the face because you can clearly see the eyes, you can see the teeth. You know, that's the point you get made before, wasn't it? I think that screams Age of Sigmar to me, that one. You know, the fact that he's got a Warhammer as well is pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's one of the standouts for me from that range.
Aesthetically, I wonder if it was a different sculptor or different team that did those.
Essentially, yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. When you look at the detailing in the mouth, it is much finer detailed.
Yeah, I think that one harks back to the older Chaos Dwarfs a lot. You know, if you look at the detail on the beard with the, you know, the metal clasps, you know, for the beard itself, you know, that's how they used to look as well. So that's a nice throwback to the old style. I think that looks more like a Chaos Dwarf to me than the rest of them. And I know that's not what we're calling them anymore, but you know, for argument's sake, they're Chaos Dwarfs.
I think that's what they're going to be known as.
Yeah.
So what else? We got the standard warrior types, what they call the infernal razors. So the dual kit option with the blunderbussy things and the Skaven looking guns.
Yeah.
I think these look better than some of the other stuff we've seen.
Yeah.
But again, they suffer from just being soft.
Yeah.
The details are just still soft again. But thinking about what we've said, I think that is the skirts, and then we run to let's talk about the hobgrots.
Yeah,
these look great.
They do look great. Yeah, I like them a lot. I think they've just got a bit more character to them for me, and maybe that is because you can see more of them. You know, they are armored. Don't get me wrong, but I think the poses are just a little bit more dynamic. You know, you've got the drummer. There's a sense of movement with the one that's got the flail. You know, the chain, that kind of thing. There's more of a sense of movement, I think, and it breathes a bit more life into them for me. Yeah, they look a bit more menacing. They've got quite menacing facial features as well.
Yeah, and I think once we start to get our hands on these, I'm tempted to pick this up as a kit.
Yeah,
just those, to paint them because I think they look really cool. I'm not sure what I'd use them for, but I really like them.
Out their details afterwards.
So exactly, you know, why not? I like painting.
Yeah.
I do see how they would add that speed and movement to an otherwise quite, I'm assuming, going to be slow, lumbering army. But
I would assume they'll have the same movement speed as, you know, Fire Slayers. I would assume.
I don't know. I feel it'd be even slower.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, thematically, they would if they're covered in metal. Yeah.
But they just feel like. I know we've only got one artillery piece that's got a dual build option, but they feel like they're more of a stand back and shoot at you, and then let the disposables, like the hobgrots run forward, and perhaps the bull centaurs,
the cannon fodder.
Yeah. What's the last dude that we got? Well, so we got the big guy, haven't we? The Taurus thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for me. Again, it looks like a child's toy to me. I feel like I'm sounding really negative today. I mean, I am genuinely excited about other things. Don't get me wrong, I'm not just going to sit here and complain for a couple of hours, but Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. There's just a lot of smooth metal panels, well, plastic panels painted as metal. Just doesn't fit for me. Doesn't fit in AoS.
No, I mean, again, I don't like this model.
Yeah.
As a centerpiece, I think it's one of the weaker ones, again, in the AoS range. Don't think it's got anything up there. I would relate it more towards, again, Old World.
Yeah.
I see the throwback. I know what model it's based on. Even this dual kit build, I don't think either of them look particularly good to my eye, unfortunately, and not to say that that's a bad thing. There are a couple of things that I do like about this kit. And this is a polarizing one. It's a hot take, but we're here for the hot takes. This is definitely like, it's not going to be up there. It's going to be like a Naga or something. No mental. But I really like effects on my models. I'm not that sort of wargamer that wants rank and flank, all of these things that perfectly line up. I like them to look shiny, and I like magic effects. I really like the like, I'm not sure which build of it is, the guy that's holding the staff aloft.
Yeah,
And he's got like the waving of the magic thing. I think that looks really cool.
stone in the top of the staff, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah. He's got like lightning going through it. I think that looks pretty good. And you could do something really interesting with the reflectivity of the metallic of the bull, depending on how you painted it, and have it like shining into that. So I'd go for perhaps like a black chrome, and then have whatever color had done that, like hitting the edges of it. And rather than having these swathes of panels, I'd almost have the panels defined by the reflection from that specific one point of light, which is
That's interesting.
whether that sort of thing could carry an entire army. I'm not entirely sure. I tried it once with some. We'll talk about that later on. Yeah, I don't like the model, but there's elements of it I like.
Yeah.
As you say, it looks a bit too plain, a bit too childish. But I don't want to be that negative guy. I'm not going to be the negative guy. I wonder how much of this is reflective of their lore, of them being good, and they're actually actively keeping their stuff clean, dude. Maybe they are, because they think they're the good guys. They want to forge stuff. They don't care necessarily. They're morally ambiguous, so they are actually cleaning the equipment. They're not full on chaos. They don't care about decaying and stuff like that. They take pride in their work.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a very dwarven trait, isn't it? They want to produce stuff.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add to that, but I do want to end this section on a positive note, because I think there was something that was mentioned that we are both excited about. They did mention that these guys are going to be supported in Warcry, which was a big surprise to me, because we've had this conversation off mic, where we thought Warcry was dead. Now, I've never played Warcry. I'm fairly new back into the hobby, but you have played a lot of Warcry and you really like it, don't you?
I do indeed. I would love for them to do a third edition of Warcry.
Yeah.
Didn't particularly like the second edition, but this has given me hope. Absolutely, it's given me hope that we may just see a third edition. And I think what would be exciting is if, much like the first edition was set in the 8 point and it was all Chaos Warbands, and I think that was the stronger game. They opened it up too far, with Art of Gur and all of the other stuff that they tried to expand into. I think if they kept it as a small gaming system, perhaps with the third edition, they could set it in the Dwarven realms. I don't know what that looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
And you have a new starter box with Dwarven terrain. So you've got some like different heights of like mining platforms, much like Red Harvest. I know they've already done the mining thing. But you could do something like that. Have a really nice strong box. You release some more models that you can use in the wider army for the Helmsmiths and perhaps Stormcaster. I don't know who else, but they could play in some really interesting mechanics with realm stones and all the other bits and pieces. Warcry was just really good. It was a nice, simple rule set.
Yeah.
It was nice and fast. I'm not sure I prefer it over Spearhead, which I genuinely enjoy playing Spearhead, but it's a totally different type of game. And I think for us, where we want to utilize multiple gaming systems to tell a narrative story through our games, having a third edition of it would be absolutely like peak for me. It would be great that we could go from an individual person in a game and have a supported gaming system all the way up to a mass army battle where we've got a general and nameless hundreds of infantry just like slugging it out on a large scale battle. That excites me more than it should do. but I'm there for it, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was very surprised to hear, I can't remember the guys' names that presented it, but they did make a very clear point that they are supported in Warcry. So, yeah, it gave me hope for that. It is something I do want to play. I do have a Warcry band, albeit I bought them not for Warcry, just because the models were cool. So, yeah, it's definitely something that we'll probably look at and talk about at a later date.
Absolutely, we will be doing that. Is there anything else to say about the Helmsmiths, or are we done for now? I'm sure we'll come down to it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know what you think. I think I'm done. I don't want to sit here and just bash them. It's just not for me. I was rather excited about them, but it's kind of pushed me in a different direction that, we're going to talk about at a later date that, I'm super excited to talk about. But yeah, I think we can probably leave the Helmsmiths of Hash up there for now.
Sounds like a good one to me.
Succulent vitality!
Let's jump into Flesh Eater Carts then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Flesh Eaters then, Will. Just like us, because that's what we've just done. We just smashed some tasty, tasty chicken wings. And you know what? They were hot.
I'm gonna dig deep into these wings.
So what did we do? What did we have?
Well, this one actually was a sauce that we've had before. Not together, I don't think, but we got a comment on YouTube from Heat Guy J Paints about I'll tell you what he said. Have you lads tried Bulldog Samyang hot sauce? And replied to him, said yes we have, but we've not actually had it on wings together. So I thought I'd get a bottle and we'd give it a go, and I was impressed. Not as hot as I remembered it, but I don't know if our palates have changed with the copious amounts of hot sauce we consume. But it was good.
I've got to admit, I didn't rate it on wings.
No,
nah. I've had it before. I've had the XX version as well on, like,
of course you have.
like in the pot noodle things.
Yeah.
I've had some of those. They sell them at work, and yeah, they're good. They're good. I don't know, the flavor didn't work for me. I think perhaps I've formed the association with the noodles rather than with chicken wings, but I could taste the sweetness. I don't know if it was the grease from the chicken kind of cutting through there.
Could be. Yeah.
Like really kind of bringing out the flavor profile a little bit more.
Yeah.
You don't get that with the noodles. You just get the hot kick in the face.
I think that's true. Yeah. I mean, I think hot sauce does taste drastically different with grease from the chicken, as gross as it sounds, but it works. But yeah, I mean, I think I lean towards sweet hot sauces than you, but I mean, I really liked it. I mean, I'm looking forward to having that on whatever I can until it runs out.
I can't imagine what else I'd have it on.
Anything.
Anything?
Yeah, I think I'd put it on roast potatoes.
Nah, it's too, nah. Now you just,
I'm being daft. I don't know. I think cold meat. Bit of leftover roast chicken or something.
do you know what? This sounds really, really random.
Go on.
But it almost tastes festive. Festive, yeah. The flavor of it.
Is it because it's dark red and it's sweet?
It might be. I think it's the sweetness coming through it for me, but everything that all of the hot sauces we've had this evening, none of them have tasted particularly hot. I don't know what's changed.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I don't know. Maybe we're just getting desensitized.
I'll bring some Dr. Payne's over next week. We'll have some sphincter shrinker.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
It'll be good.
Yeah, I'll be rolling around on the floor in pain.
Wait, that sounds so wrong. So long as it's you and not me, that's always good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anyway, from one type of flesh eater to another, the Flesh Eater Carts. Another one of those summer reveals, and one that I'm particularly interested in.
Yeah, I think they're definitely more your vibe than mine. But yeah, I've got a few points that I wanted to talk about. But do you want to talk about the High Falcon of Felgren first?
But I've got a lot to say about.
Oh, have you? All right, you tell me what you want to say. You say what you got to say first.
Firstly, the Battle Tome. I am not a fan. Not a fan of the cover art on this, but this has been across the 4th edition covers. I've not felt any of them were particularly great.
Yeah,
even the special editions. Interestingly, the special edition of the Helmsmiths with the destroyer thing, the big bull Terminator on the front, that I think looks cool. This one, however, not there for at all, and I really didn't like not the Flesh Eater Carts, the Soul Blight Grave Lords.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
what is it about you don't like? I like that.
It's the art style. I'm not into it at all.
Okay.
I prefer the art style from Kill Team and that kind of more whisper. The Cursed City.
Yeah.
So not necessarily the monotone, but that style being more less fleshed out, no pun intended.
I think it looks more deliberately like a hand-drawn style on Curse City rather than this. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, this is. I mean, I can't say from this, but this reminds me. Oh, I'm giving away my age again here. So I used to collect Marvel trading cards.
Okay.
From ages ago, from years ago, and there was two. It was I think it was a husband and wife team, and it's Boris. Their surname was Boris, and they did like almost this verging on realistic, but not quite realistic. There's enough of the fantastical in there to kind of like, well, this is comic art. It feels like this is going towards that somewhat, and I think that takes away something from your self projection of what you think of them, as where is in Curse City and the new Kill Team kind of book. It's sketchy enough that it gives you a framework that you can then project your vision of what the details of those look like.
I get you. Whereas this is a bit too much. This is what these guys look like.
Yeah, and it doesn't as a book. I know this sounds really pretentious, but it doesn't fit in with everything. The logo looks too separate from the background, and then you've got the dark element. But it doesn't do it for me. I'm just not there for it. But anyway, this is a conversation for another time. If you want to hear us talk about battle terms and such, let us know our codexes. Probably more battle terms as our thing, but I'm not adverse to picking up certain 40k factions and working through those and things and just giving us opinions on everything from a non-gamer's perspective. So perhaps we'll talk about rules and stuff, but mostly the lore in those things.
Yeah.
Let us know. It'll be an interesting one to pick up on. You guys tell us, because I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
But Flesh Eaters.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an army that I am very, very interested in. As you know, Will.
Yeah.
I have the current Spearhead box ready to be painted. It's going to be my next proper painting project.
Yeah.
That I'll be doing videos of over on YouTube as well. Might as well plug my channel on there. So Forge of Solace. Yeah, there you go.
Really shameless.
But this is a faction that I do like. I like the idea of it. I'm not into ghouls. And I don't like that they're leaning more into the ghoul aesthetic. I get it. I totally get it. But lore-wise, they're, to me, feral vampires.
Yeah.
Almost what the Varcross is in Soulblight, but they're a little bit removed from that. And I think with having Usheron as the more Arc of Delusion, that kind of all works together. And the ghoulish aesthetic, I don't think works with it. Okay, so as I say, this is my second time collecting this army.
Yeah.
And I got particularly excited because when I first painted it, I did the entire range as I do, and I was a little bit disheveled with it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the sculpt. I thought the ghouls were a bit meh. I thought all of the models were just a little bit lackluster, and I thought we needed some new ones. And then at the end of 3rd edition, lo and behold, we got them, and the range looks fantastic. Again, Games Workshop have knocked it out of the park, and it's again that juxtaposition against the Helmsmith, and I think that really comes across with these horrific characters compared to those. However, I think some of the stuff they've done is still a little bit derpy. That's not to say I don't like it. So let's have a chat then about the Falconer. What is it? High Falconer Felgrin.
High Falconer Felgrin. Yeah, I mean, I like this. I mean, we've deliberately not spoken about these releases since they came out because we were going to have this conversation, with you guys organically. I really like this model. I immediately saw it and thought this was going to be a bit too humorous and a bit too lighthearted for you. But yeah, what do you think?
So my first take on it was Gollum wearing a hat. But
okay, I see it.
I was like, oh, those pesky stormcasts.
Do you think if you took the hat away, would it fit better?
Perhaps. I think one of the things, and this isn't just a Flesh Eater Cult thing. This is a Games Workshop Warhammer, regardless of setting thing. Sometimes it's too on the nose.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the name. Yeah. You couldn't Felgrin. You couldn't be more on the nose.
Yeah.
Could it? You know what I mean? And I think that kind of transfers over, especially with the Flesh Eaters, into some of the sculpts.
Mm.
Now, some of them are quite horrific, and I think some of it's the paint job, but it is a little bit humorous, but I think I can bring it back to where I want it to be.
I think, again, we mentioned it already, it's all about the paint job, isn't it? I mean, we've only seen that one iteration of the paint job because it's not out yet, so that's kind of the image that we have at the moment, but if we can look beyond that, you know, if you've got an idea in your mind of how you're going to paint your flesh eater courts dudes, then yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you do with it. Because I mean, you do lean into more of a horror vibe than a comical vibe. We've mentioned that at length. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you do with that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on him. So it looks like I'm collecting flesh eaters.
Yeah.
Since you're going down the road of another army. I'll talk about that later. But I'm probably going to lean into these and end up with a reasonable sized force. It's definitely me impetus to want to paint the characters that I really wanted to start painting. So Grand Justice Gorman, and another couple of the ones that are in the new Spearhead box. We'll touch on in a minute. So the Gore Warden, I think, is a prime example of flesh eaters done right compared to some of the other funkier stuff like this. But just to give my take on this model, there's a couple of things that I really like. Overall, the pose works for me. I think it is very similar to the Abhorrent Archregent previously. And I think Games Workshop really like this pose because there's one Elder model like that. I think one of the new Space Marines that we'll talk about later on has a very similar pose to this.
Yeah, one of the Gaunt's ghosts.
Yeah.
You know, sort of leaning off that log.
He is indeed. So a load of them have this, but the way that he's got like a little bit of forward momentum as well from the bat, I think is fantastic. I really like that he's got the token in respect of the other bat model. So how that works mechanically, I think, is very interesting. I like tokens. I think it adds something to the lore feel of them, and it appeals to my fluffier side of how I like to game.
Yeah,
I think what I'll probably do with this myself is I'll get rid of the hat in terms of the detail.
Yeah.
And I'll probably replace it with some gore on there, and I'll definitely be having him looking like he's wearing skin.
Yeah. Okay.
And definitely again, it'll be darker. It'll be much darker. I'm going to go for a very washed out grey tone. That's going to be the skin color of all of the flesh eaters, and that's if you think 30 Days of Night. If you've read the comics or you've seen the film, the cover from the film, the movie poster, that is going to be pretty indicative of how I'm going to paint them. I think that paint scheme will look great on some of the flesh eaters.
Yeah,
I think it'll look fantastic. So perhaps black arms and feet going into the grey in the middle of the body and the face to make it stand out. But I think having that with the red blood is going to sell it pretty well. And I think that with this model will look great around the bat's mouths and stuff. Overall, I think the sculpt is there. I think the comical element of it, other than it being like, you know, Robin Hood's Gollum dressed as Robin Hood throwing a bat, I think it's mostly the face, is the position of the mouth and the hat. I think if you change those a little bit, and the mouth is an easy one with the paint job.
Yeah.
The hat, get rid of it, and I think you've got a really nice sculptor. So overall, I think I'm there for it. I'm not hating on it at all. I was quite happy to see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not really the opinion I thought you would have, but no, it's good to hear. So, so in terms of the new Spearhead, what was it called? The Channel
Watch. Yeah. So it's an interesting one. Is this new Spearhead, because harking back to what we talked about earlier, it's got another Warcry band in it.
Oh,
so the Royal Beast Flayers. I recently picked that bad boy up as well, and so that's great. I basically got this Spearhead, other than the Crypt Flayers and the Crypt Horrors, and that's fine. I do. So that, I don't know if you know about this kit, but that is a kit that makes 4 different models.
Yeah.
Or 4 different variants. There's 2 Soul Blight ones. One of them might be Legends now. And these 2. So you've got the Crypt Horrors, the Crypt Flayers, the Vargeist, and the other things.
Is it the Vargeist kit? Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got the different heads, and then winged or without winged. Now, I don't like these sculpts. I painted them before, and I really enjoyed painting them without the wings. I don't like the winged ones. I understand why they are like they are. It's to give them a smaller profile. Because otherwise, if you've got these big dudes, I think they're on 50mm bases, with the wings outstretched, you know, maintaining your unit coherency is going to be a bit of a bugger.
Yeah,
but
true.
the poses just don't work for me. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is delve into the old bits box and build my own. In which case, I've already got the Gore Warden, picked him up recently to paint. 'Cause I think that model is stunning.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think the Royal Beast Flayers is a really fun kill team, and it's got like the vampire mandrills in there, and we all know how I like monkeys and great apes, and like, well, vampires are awesome, and you put vampires and monkeys together, and well, I'm there, dude.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then.
yeah, it really works. It'll be interesting to see how it plays as well compared to the other spearheads. So I'll probably have them both done at the same time. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I think it's a reasonable box, but what is interesting, and as I touched on earlier, is the war cry element.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you mentioned their interest to see, how they're going to play. I mean, they've got a new battle trait, haven't they? As well, delusions.
They do the delusions, yeah.
I mean, what the official text says, delusions, which reflects the roiling madness that inflicts them all. So that does sound interesting. So what was it? The army has 2 to pick from as standard, but many heroes unlock fresh delusions, allowing you to build your army around specific personages. Don't know what that word means. I'm not going to pretend I do. But yeah, thematically, I'm interested to see how that's going to work with the rules that they have and to see what you do with them.
Yeah, totally. So this does take me back to 3rd edition when I built the previous range, and this is actually what I was talking about earlier when I said I painted another army with an interesting paint scheme. So this was my first attempt at, rather than doing the standard zenithal paint scheme, so everything was evenly lit top down, I tried to do the entire army underlit, and the idea was to have them cold blue from the top because they were being lit by the moon or a very dim moonlight, and then underlit from a glowing red aspect. And it didn't work.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I kind of hinted at earlier when I was talking about the Helmsmiths.
Yeah.
And you could do something like that, but I'm not sure it would carry the army. We'll park out and we'll come back and we'll talk about it another time. But with the Flesh Eaters, it used to be they had like sub-factions within them, and each of the sub-factions kind of let you build a different army composition.
Yeah.
So different things became battle line or heroes, and you could take different amount of those units based off of which of the sub-factions it were.
Okay.
So I wonder if the delusions are going to allow them to do that, because they've almost removed a lot of the sub-factions. Things like Soul Blight have leaned into it with different physical models in the range. So you could use things like the Blood Knights and Prince Vordry to have those guys. I can't remember, the Knights of the Crimson Keep or the Silver Fang, those kind of things. Or you could use Manfred and to have the blood, Mortarch of Blood aspect, or Mortarch of Night, whichever way around it is. All of those things. But there's a core of the same models, but there's very specific models you could take to represent the different dynasties.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wonder if they're using delusions in the manner where you could take perhaps an infantry heavy one with one delusion, or you've got another one that's more cavalry based, where the Mornfang Knights, so they're called Mornberg Knights. So the guys on they've got like bats, I think, haven't they?
Yeah.
So perhaps it's a delusion where they're more cavalry based, in which case it kind of gives you that kind of aspect. So again, it kind of allows you to have different archetypes for the same army, which is an interesting one. Or perhaps it's something completely different, and you can use, you're rolling on the table like you do if you're playing Slaves to Darkness. You get different boons. You could do something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll know soon enough, won't we? It's nice to speculate, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see, especially if, you're going to be playing with them as well. It'd be cool to see it in action rather than, So, yeah, I think we'll have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I'm there for it as well. And I get to paint the Channel Throne again. I picked that up as well by accident. Whoops.
By accident.
Oh, no. Accident. So what have we got next? It's getting a bit late, isn't it? So it's late into the night. I set you up for some type of fun then, some type of seamless transition. And
I mean, yeah, Nighthawk. I mean, the new battle term, it's definitely something I'll be getting, I think. I'm getting pretty interested in these guys, to be honest. It's something that I've always sort of liked the look of, but yeah, definitely leaning towards them. Thinking now, especially that the Chaos Doors didn't turn out how I initially expected. I'm kind of happy because it's pushed me in this direction a little bit more. So yeah, it bodes well that they're getting a new battle tome. Another character as well. So
The cover's good. This is my favorite cover so far.
it is cool. Yeah,
It is
I
a
do
good
like that.
cover as well.
Yeah, and new dice as well.
Yes. Yeah, they're getting new dice as well.
And we all like dice.
We do.
Yeah, we do. So gonna have to buy them out.
Spend far too much money on dice. We should probably stop that.
To be fair, I did look at what's the company? Baron of Dice.
Yes.
Yeah, Baron of Dice got some really cool ones on there. But yeah, I'll wait and see what the new ones.
Rounded or squared off corners?
They have both actually, but yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna go square.
You
I don't have much of a preference. The current ones I'm using are rounded corners, so I think I'm gonna go square.
See, I was thinking about this. I like the aesthetic of squared corners, but in my dice roller thing that I printed,
Oh yeah,
rounded corners work better on feeding them in. So I don't know. I never thought about this up until recently. I was like, it's like square corners look better. The sharp corners, so much better.
they look more
So much more premium.
Hmm.
But no, perhaps practically not the case.
But in terms of the new battle tome, I mean, you're a big fan of battle tomes on the whole, aren't you? So yeah, I mean, what are you excited for? What are you expecting to see? What are your thoughts?
Well, it seems like from this release, some of the things that I thought might happen haven't happened. And I don't know what I was basing that on, other than some of the Nighthaunt models are a little bit fragile, and I thought they might redo a couple of things. But from what they've shown with just the one character, I don't think we're going to see anything major in terms of range refresh or additions this edition, which is cool. That's fine. We know where we stand. It's great for you, I suppose, as you kind of get into collecting that range that it's not going to be there, or it is going to be there. Some of the things that they mentioned about the army overall is interesting. I think from what I've seen of the competitive scene, it seems like it's perhaps somewhat divisive, although where Night haunts it. Some people say they're oppressively good, and then you've got other people saying, well, statistically they don't look that great, but they seem to be doing well. I mean, people like Night Haunt, and rightly so, because it's an amazing looking range. It really, really is.
Yeah.
But removing some of the things that made them perhaps oppressive to some people, I don't know, because we don't play the game to that level, but apparently they're getting a 5+ ward save now, which is pretty good. I mean, that is like army wide as well.
Yeah,
but they're going to be squishier.
Do they currently ignore rend? Am I right in thinking?
I believe they do currently ignore rend.
Keep that.
I hope so, because it's thematic. It's thematic, isn't it? So why would you get rid of it?
Yeah,
please don't do that.
And then what did they mention? Mounting dread.
They did indeed.
Yeah, is that a new thing?
I think so. Yeah. I think it sounds to me like it's going to work much like the disease points in Nurgle.
That's interesting.
So like it's cumulative over time, which again, lore wise makes sense, and it really does play into the mechanic, to the theme of the army. I'm just wondering, again, playing devil's advocate, does each army need a gimmick, or can you have a different flavor army based purely on statistical differences and how they play on the battlefield, and leave it to the player to add that flavor? Or do you need something like that sort of mechanic? I think it sounds good.
It's an interesting point. I didn't think about it that way. I suppose it depends on the reasons why you're playing. I mean, if you're playing like we do, we're very deep into the we're very deep into the lore, and we like to make sure that whatever force we're playing with is thematically on point. So I guess for me, that's a nice addition. Yeah, it's not to say that I wouldn't like them, without, but yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm be interested to see how it works. I think one of the things that I didn't particularly like about how the Magic Kin played in 3rd edition, and again, I'm coming from a absolute novice's perspective here, because I haven't played a huge amount of the game, and when I did, I was heavily handicapped by having to rely on other people, because it's just, I need to put in the reps of the game. So I didn't have a regular gaming partner to play with and to build on that week on week. I found the bookkeeping of Nurgle quite difficult to keep track of, along with learning the rules of the game and how to play the game both mechanically and then abstracting that mechanic away, so I was playing thematically, which is what I wanted to do, and playing a game in those two different manners. Because if somebody that's teaching you how to play the game is playing matched play and they want to play competitively, that's a very different beast to playing thematically and playing fluffy, because like it's not just you're going to constantly lose. Some of the stuff that I was like, I don't understand how I'm dead now, but yeah, you've told me like there's no way for me to win now, and it's the end of turn 1. It's like, okay, cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that led on top of trying to keep track of disease points, who's got what, all of these other bits and pieces rolling on whatever table it was to see which one of the various things that Nurgle could do affected my dice rolls next, along with all of the other things, was quite intimidating for me. So I'm hoping that they've streamlined it and it'll be something a little bit less involved mechanically than that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And there was the model as well that they showed, wasn't there? Again, on the nose with the naming.
Lord Vitriolic.
Yeah. Come on.
I mean, I like it. I'm going to say that straight off the bat. I really like it. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit on the nose, as you say, but I think I like that a little bit more than you. I really like that effect from the spilt potion bottle, on the sculpt itself. I really like that. It's nice because it's very Nighthawk in itself, because it's sort of a loose flow like the robes are, but it's a very different texture looking at it. So it'll stand out on the table, I think. You're going to get a lot of different pops of color with the potions racks, things like that. Yeah, I mean, as it looks, I really like that model. I really like it.
There's elements that I like. I think what I didn't like about it was the top of it just looks wrong. And I think the reason is, when I first looked at it, it really reminded me of a character from a Mortal Kombat game called The Collector. From like, not Mortal Kombat 1, I think it was the Mortal Kombat 11 maybe. And I think it was the thing on his back, like the potion rack.
Yeah.
'Cause the Collector had like a backpack on.
Okay.
And the weird way that the other arm is bent wrong way around, Collector had 4 or 6 arms, I can't remember now. But there was something about that, and it just looked a little bit too busy for what it was supposed to be.
Okay.
It doesn't line up with a Spectre, which is perhaps incorrect from me. I'll know once I've read more of the lore in the battle tome. The Nighthaunt come across as they're supposed to be Spectres.
Yeah, it looks a little more physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And
I'm gonna have to clear my throat.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Yeah, sorry.
Were you infected with something?
No, not at all. We just had our tea. But no,
That hot sauce, the not hot sauce.
Less than nothing.
it must have been. Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to sound hard for the podcast.
There you go.
I suppose the way you put it there, it does kind of make sense. I mean, I'm looking at more at face value. I just think it's a cool sculpt. But I do get what you're saying though. But I just think as Nighthawk go, I think you're very limited about what you can paint color wise, because quite similar across the range, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think having a little pop color will really make him stand out on the table, and I like that. But then again, we haven't seen the rules for him. I mean, the potion mechanic in gameplay sounds really interesting.
It sounds really interesting.
I mean, I thought, similar to what you said about the table, I wonder if there's going to be some sort of table element with dice rolls to say, you get this and this, you get this potion that you can sort of throw. There you go. It sounds like a haunted house in here. There's doors creaking everywhere. But
Just a Nighthaunt.
it's the Nighthaunt. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how it works. I'm all for adding a bit of fluff into the gameplay. As long as it works thematically, I think it'll definitely be one I want to read the rules for before I commit to getting. But yeah,
Interesting.
for now, yeah. I mean, it's probably you probably realize that I'm thinking about getting into Nighthaunt as a secondary army, so that makes a lot of sense. But we'll talk about that in a different episode in more depth. But yeah, I think the idea of painting him, I quite like the thought of doing it. Having that sort of potion, gas, and liquid a completely separate color to the Nighthaunt himself. The Lord Vitriolic himself. That could be cool, but I wouldn't want it to be the main standout point of my army, personally. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I do like it though.
I don't hate it. I feel like you think that I hate it, and I don't by any means. I think there's, again, I think it's the paint job. I would definitely like to give it a go. And I mean, comes as no surprise, I was also thinking of getting a Nighthaunt army as well. But it just so happens there's no point in both getting the same army at the same time. So I'm going to go back down the Flesh Eater route and pick this up further down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mechanic of making the potion sounds really interesting, and I hope it's one that you can choose yourself rather than it being a dice roll.
Yeah, they alluded to it, didn't they?
They did,
when they
yeah,
were
the
talking
rules.
about it, they said that there was going to be sort of set rules and then a different, I think there'll be a choice between how the mechanic works. So, yeah, I mean, wait and see when, whenever the battle tome does come out, which shouldn't be too much longer.
Should be fairly soon.
Yeah, I think that's one I'll be picking up. So
I'm thinking they're going to release this and the Flesh Eater cart at the same time. It seems like they're hammering through the battle tomes now, so that's going to be an expensive month.
Yep, most likely, but out the hole.
But that's not everything, is it? There's a spearhead as well that comes along with these guys.
Yeah, the Cursed Shacklehorde. I think it's called Spearhead, to be honest. I quite like the existing one. I like the choice of models in there over this one, personally, if I was to choose between the two. But, if you're looking at it from an army standpoint, they are separate models in each box, aren't they, completely? So it's a really good standpoint if you have one to get the other to then put you in good stead to play AoS.
Yeah, I think that's. I was going to say, is that something that you're going to do, because you've got the first spearhead now?
Yeah,
How are you going to be picking up the spearhead? Because this seems, I don't know, I may be wrong because I don't really know what the units do, and I've not checked what they currently do in the faction pack. But this seems more of an elite-ish.
it does. Yeah, I'm not sure yet, to be honest. I do. Yeah, I've picked up the models for the existing Spearhead. I've done it piecemeal rather than buying the box. And it's worked out much cheaper, actually, from eBay and our local game shop. Shout out Murfield Miniatures. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think it does have a couple of cavalry elements in there, doesn't it? And that's what the original one is very like. Well, there's no cavalry in the original one. So depending on where we go when we start to play full fat AoS, it's likely that I'm going to need that speed, that cavalry element. So I might not get that because I might have to focus on getting some actual cavalry units. So yeah, I mean, it's a wait and see at this stage. I'm not really at the stage where I'm planning a full army yet. I've got plenty to be getting on with. So cross that bridge when I come to it. It's a maybe. I think it looks cool. There's very little sculpts in the Nighthawk range that I don't like. Apart from that one that you couldn't believe. Forgotten his name.
Oh, the on ethereal steed.
No, the one on foot, but the one that
Yeah, the guy with the
guy in the other spearhead.
yeah, the guy in the other steed.
No.
What's he called?
That's gonna bug me now.
It's a guy.
You know what I mean, though.
It's a guy in a steed.
But I don't like it.
Night Shrouds.
Night Shroud.
There we go.
Yeah, I really don't like the Night Shrouds. That's the only one I really don't like.
It's cool.
But luckily enough, you don't mind proxying. So I found a pretty cool proxy online. So
Nah, nobody cares about that. Such things. Just do it.
yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'll put a picture of it up on the Instagram channel once I get around to getting him and painting him.
Indeed.
If anybody wants to see it, let me know.
Do it.
I'm not going to be winning any Golden Demon contests, but I've got a pretty striking idea for a paint scheme that kind of goes against the standard that you see on Games Workshop. That I'm pretty sure I've cemented it.
I'm excited to see what we do with it.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
yeah, I'm going to make a start on it this weekend with any luck. So yeah,
It'll be good. We'll definitely have to revisit that in another episode. I think it'll be good to talk about the armies that we're building and why we're building them. I think that'll be something we'll touch on. But
sounds like a good episode, don't you?
yeah, not foreshadowing anything at all. I will.
But
So-
yeah, I think is that about it for?
I think that was it for the major faction stuff. But
Yeah.
but let's Barry Scott it. Oh wait, there's more. There's more Warhammer. There's more Warhammer Age of Sigmar. In fact,
What have we got?
there's Underworlds, isn't there? There's
Oh, of course there
Spikewood.
Yeah. So
So there's even more, Will. Angry little dwarven dudes that look a little bit rotund, a little bit muddy, a little bit derpy, with slightly shorter hats.
Yeah.
And there's even more though, isn't there? There's even more in those boxes, Will. What else is in there?
I mean, there's tons of stuff.
Some elves.
Elves. There's
There's 3 elves.
bit of everything, isn't there?
Well, it's the Elsmiths, or what they're called, the Elsmiths, Curse Dwarfs and some Kernoth Centaur things.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's in the actual box, isn't it? So that's Spikewood. I mean,
We should probably caveat this actually to say that neither of us have ever played Underworlds, and apologies if you can hear my dog squeaking in the background. He is sat with us, but yeah, neither of us
played Underworlds either. That's what probably has. He's probably like, why are you not playing Underworlds?
But yeah, how you fun? What do you think? Do you like the idea of playing Underworlds one day? Sorry, come back to the mic.
There you go. I would be interested. I don't actually know anybody that's ever played Underworlds.
Well, dear listeners, this is something that we've not had a discussion with. You can't see what I'm doing, but I am fiddling around under the table in my backpack because I have not told Wayne that I have bought something online.
Oh, what is this?
It's not the current edition, but
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
did find the Warhammer Underworlds Death Gorge box on eBay for dirt cheap.
Well,
Picked it up for us to test it out. It's not the current edition, I don't think. But
right. Okay.
it's just the board, the tokens, the dice, and the rules. So I thought we could give it a go, get us heads around it. You know, I'm able to sink in a ton of money into it because we do have some Underworlds warbands that we've bought just for the model side of things.
Yes, we do. So, oh wow. Okay.
It's my gift to you, and I kept that organic. Just for this.
That I'm touched. I'm excited. I'm excited to look at this. I won't wave it around too much. So I don't want to get on the. I always got wet elves. Whoever his favorite player for the last.
But yeah, I saw it and it was cheap, and I thought we could get our head around playing it because we kind of got excited with some of the Underworld stuff, don't we? And we like the sculpts, you know. I think they are, you know, pretty unique as AoS stuff goes. So, you know, we've got the cards, we've got the box of the models. We might as well give it a go to see if we like the game format.
It is, and on that perfect segue into it. Shall we have a little chat about these things in there? So we've got some more dwarfs in here.
Yes.
Let's talk about the dwarfs. So Blood of the Bull is the name of the team in there, and I have to say, I think these look way better than anything else in the main release.
Yeah.
And
do you know, the more I look at Underworlds as, you know, in general, some of the sculpts they do are
stunning.
They are really good, aren't they? I mean, yeah, they've got more character, the Blood of the Bull. I know there's only 5 of them in that box. I think, yeah, 5 of them, and one of them isn't even a dwarf. But yeah, I think they've just got a lot more character, and they've got more of a sense of movement. They don't seem as static. I think that was more of what I had in mind when I was envisaging them. You know, more character driven. Yeah, I think they look really cool.
I'm totally there with you. I think it's the same for me. Everything that you've said is right. I think it looks like a different sculptor to me.
Yeah.
And in fact, looking at what I picked up on when we talked about it earlier, do you know about the height of them and the male skirt kind of whatever it is, the scale male skirt? If you look at those sculpts, there's actually more of the feet and the leg showing. It's almost like ankle down. They look like they've got taller stature. They look less rotund. And look at the teeth. The banner bearer, it is much less derpy. The chap with the gun, the teeth are way finer. It looks like a different team. Even the definition on the arms and the shoulders, there seems to be more musculature there.
Yeah. The dude with the gun, yeah, you know, he's got his foot up on the, what do they call it, the tactical rock. Tactical rock, yeah. It looks better.
I agree. I'd be there for this. It's just a pity that this isn't a starter box. If it was a starter box, I'd said, come on, let's jump in.
Yeah.
Let's go halves on it, whatever.
Yeah. Well, look, we can give it a bash with what I got.
Exactly.
On the real cheap, and if we like it, then maybe we jump in and we go halves on a box.
We've literally got everything, but yeah. So what else was in this release? Oh, we've got the elf centaur things, haven't we? The Kernoth centaurs.
I quite like them, you know.
I'm not sure how I feel about them. They're growing on me. Yeah. I think there was something about the proportions that didn't sit right with me. It was like the torsos of the elves didn't look right in relationship to the length of the legs of the horse, which I know sounds like a stupid thing because, well, obviously they're going to be bigger. You would, when you look at centaurs, they tend to be bigger because the only way to get the scale is to upscale the torso to be in line with the horses, because otherwise you end up with like a Shetland pony centaur.
Yeah, or some sort of chaos, or some sort of Frankenstein's abomination. But yeah, no, I really like them actually. I mean, I'm not sure I like that glowing orb in the stomach. I don't know what it is. You do like that?
It's scary.
I suppose the way, do you know what? I can see this already if you were to get them, because I know where I'm going with it. I know how you like to paint, and you having that as a source of light. I can see that already. But no, I really like them. I think it's high fantasy enough for me. You know, there's a little bit of whimsy involved with that, which I know isn't your thing, but I think we look at things in a very different way. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to play with them and see how they work. So
Yeah, I think that's a really cool box, to be honest. I like both of the bands in there. I think it's great, and I do genuinely think the Helmsmiths, this shows what that release could have looked like, and I'd be really interested to know if anybody does know if it was the same sculptor at Games Workshop or whatever. I would love to know. What do you guys think on that one? Because I don't feel like I'm being unfair about it, but those are just better sculpts. The more finesse to
that's
them.
our opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it's not like we don't have enough games to play, but you know, we've got the tools here for it, and you know, we could always make a podcast about it.
Well, why not? That's it. It's almost like we like spending time together, Will.
It's almost like
We're looking for excuses by just
spending time and spending money, I think.
So what else have we got? We've got four boxes of releases, haven't we? Or re-releases, each of the Grand Alliances.
Yeah, repackaging, whatever. Yeah.
Just going into these, I'm just going to say off the bat, I'm getting Morbid Minions. I'm really excited about this because the Sons of Sons of Velmorn are in the Morbid Minions box. That entire box of miniatures I want anyway.
Okay.
It's got some flesh eaters in there. It's got obviously the Sons of Velmorn that I can run in my Soulblight army, so I can use alternate sculpt. And that White King is the White King that Games Workshop should have given us. It's like, what are you doing?
I'll give you that.
Why isn't that out there, G-dubs? Come on. But that specific model, the price of this box, what that's going for on the second-hand market, I can get the entire box with him in for the price of just that one model.
I like it because I really like Thorns of the Bride Queen, but I already have that, so I don't need to buy it.
And it's gonna scratch my itch to paint some Night on how I think that I will do my Night on armor.
Do you know what? That's a really good point. I think this game, you know, this specific game of Underworlds really lends itself for you to mix and match and to choose something that you normally wouldn't. Like you can go, I don't want to commit to a full Spearhead, or I don't even want to commit to a full Warcry band. You can just go, cool, I've got 3 or 4 minis here, and I can, you know, give it a bash. I really like that idea. I think it's a smart move.
Well, funnily enough, after we talked on the last episode, and when I saw the release of this, I'm like, I'm going to get the Destruction box. It's got all of the goblins in it. It's got Troll. I can paint it like...
Is that the Reavers of Ruin? Was that one?
No, that's the
Oh, that's the Chaos one.
This is the Gits and Goliaths.
That's the one.
But I'm not sure I would buy... because I reckon it's going to be like, what, 80, 85 quid. I do want to explore that idea that we talked about on the last episode of how I would paint some trolls and such with the Gloomspite, but perhaps there's a warband or something. If they do re-release Warcry, then I would go that way if I could take a troll or something in there. Or perhaps I'll just do a diorama. Perhaps that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I mean, if you give it a few months, check out eBay. People might be buying the box and splitting it down into component parts. There might be more sort of surplus kicking around. So you might have more luck in let's say the new year.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I mean, I there's some models in there that I really do like. You know, I quite like the Seekers in the Shadow one. I'm not a huge fan of Stormcast, but I like the Stormcast dudes in that one.
I have those. That's one of the bands that I do have.
How is it?
Yeah, Xander's Truth Seekers or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think there's plenty of potential there to try something different. Sorry guys. But yeah, I think you've got the opportunity to try something on a really small scale.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of, like you say, scratches an itch or gives you a day off from, you know, what your campaign might be or something, to do something really different.
That's it. And I think it shows with the sculptors as well. I think that's how they've approached creation of some of these, because there's just so much more character. Not, and I don't mean this in a negative way to the other main releases that Games Workshop put out, because I firmly believe I mean, it comes across, I'm a Games Workshop fanboy. I love it. Yes, it's expensive. I'm not going to start getting into the whole politics of if it's a good or bad
I think
company.
we've made the decision that we're going to spend the money when we want to. So
Yes, exactly. But these Warcry, not Warcry, whatever it's called, Underworld warbands have been consistently some of the best sculpts Games Workshop have put out, and they're just beautiful. I mean, I'm not a Skaven fan, but those Skaven ones they've put back in here are beautiful sculpts.
I mean, for me, the first ones I saw were the Chosen Axes, the Fire Slayers ones. I bought them just because there was a bit more variety in them, you know, for my Fire Slayers army. And then when I got them physically, the detail in them was so nice and it was so crisp. I'm always a little disappointed because they're push fit and, you know, there's always gaps to fill and things like that. But, you know, I can overlook that. You know, we've mentioned before, we've got a unified basing theme going on, and it's hard to do that with these because the bases are, you know, molded. But luckily, you know, the ones I got for Nighthawk kind of fit that, you know, theme that we're going for anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I wasn't too happy about it with my Fire Slayers, but, you know, I'll make it work. But yeah, seeing their models, you know, physically, they are very different to what you see as the rank and file stuff, you know, even in the Spearhead or whatever. So I think you can use them from a purely modeling standpoint. You know, if you wanted to do some display miniatures just for a little painting project, they can really add a bit of character to an existing AoS army as well. So, but yeah, I mean, we need to play the game so we can actually comment on how the game works and how the mechanics work, don't we?
We absolutely do. And I'm excited. I hope Games Workshop continue with this game because it is something that I've wanted to explore for a little while and I've not had the opportunity and I've kind of teetered on the edge of it. And I think this is another one of those things that we could get together and just have a quick couple of hours, play something pretty light. We're still getting us Warhammer fix. We're still potentially probably going to smash some wings. Yeah. And because why wouldn't we have the wings as well if you know, the two go hand in hand?
Well, do you know what I thought it might lend itself nice to? Just something, you know, if we had an hour or two before we were recording the podcast, we could have a quick game rather than, I mean, yes, we know Spearhead is supposed to be a quick game, but Spearhead takes us longer because we like to have a chat while we're playing, you know, and we're not expert gamers, far from it. But yeah, maybe that'll be something that we can have a quick game of with a cup of coffee before we record a podcast or, you know, after we record a podcast, or if we find ourselves with a spare hour or two on a Saturday afternoon and we go for a coffee. It's easy to stick in a backpack and take with you as well.
That's a good point. I do like all of those things. And it's got some cards, and I do like cards.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a big box of card sleeves with nothing to go in, so I'm hoping they fit in that because I've been trying to get a shot of these card sleeves for years.
You made that sound like way too sexual. But I'm there for it. Well, I'm there for it. Let's do it. Let's wrap those cards and go in deep.
I know. I think Coffee and Underworlds could be a nice little...
the spin-off podcast coming to you. That's why it was. So very.
But it could just be a nice addition to our existing hobby time. But yeah, we'll give it a go. See if we like it.
You guys gonna pick up any of the boxes? Let us know. It'll be yeah. Don't pick up all the morbid minions because I need at least one of those.
Yeah,
boxes.
somebody leave one for him.
The Exalted Dead as well. I won't talk about it, but I really wanted to get those when they first came out, and I had no reason to, and I still don't really have any reason. But now I would love. It's going to be fun to paint.
Yeah.
What are we on to next then? The Old World.
Yeah.
Well, you can talk about that one because I have literally no interest at all.
I mean, you've probably got this from us before Old World. Do you know what? I don't even have any notes on it. What was it? Tomb Kings?
It was Tomb Kings, the Lich Priest.
Yeah.
To be fair, it does look pretty cool. And my take on it was, if I ever need to, I could perhaps use it as conversion fodder for my Soul Blight.
Yeah.
I could see a couple of ideas for it there.
But if you were a Bone Reapers guy as well.
I'm not though.
No,
I'm just a little bit.
No, if somebody was.
I don't even, somebody might be.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to leave that there. You guys probably know that we don't play Old World. We're not planning on playing Old World. You know, we are very much Age of Sigmar focused. We like 40k. We've got an interest in playing Kill Team down the line. But for now, yeah, we're not going to be spending a lot of time on Old World.
Nah. Oh. Cool. And 40k, you said we've got an interest in 40. Well, we do, and we're going to talk about the 40k. Should we talk about Titus's helmet first?
I mean, I could talk about Titus's helmet all day.
But I think I'm not sure we have all that. We've been talking a while as it is.
Do you know what? It's not as expensive as I thought it would be. I was talking to one of my other friends. Yes, I do have one other friend. He's more into 40k. I asked him, he tempted to get it as a joke, and he went, actually, I've just checked. I think it's
150 in it.
Yeah. And he said, you get a free t-shirt with it if you pre-order it. So it kind of made it seem like a better deal. But I don't know, if it wasn't Ultramarines, I might be tempted, but I suppose you could paint it.
Could be better.
I know what I'd do though. I mean, I'm daft enough to put it on my head and headbutt a wall, and then I'd break it, and I'd end up in A&E. And
It's plastic, not ceramite.
Well,
That's not a thing yet, right?
but no, as much as I'd like to have it and put it on a shelf, don't really have a reason to.
I think I do also have another friend. I have another couple of friends. And I do feel one of my friends is probably going to pick it up. He's already expressed an interest in it.
Yeah.
It's not for me. Not only do I not like the character Titus, I really have no interest in Ultramarines. And also I have a 3D printer.
Oh yeah, you could make one yourself.
I could indeed make one.
Yeah. I'd rather have a Corvus pattern helmet if I had the choice.
Yeah, I'd definitely go for the Mark 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Primaris helmet, I do like the look of Primaris, and I'm sure we'll talk about this. In fact, we are definitely going to talk about this because I love talk about Space Marines as much as I love talking about vampires, but I do have an interest in certain armor types.
Yeah.
And that's something I don't think we've talked about it, so we should have this conversation on a podcast.
Yeah, we'll do a Space Marine episode, yeah.
So
I'm there for that. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking broader 40k sense in these summer release terms, I mean, the first thing that they showed us in the video was Votann, which surprised me. But yeah, did you expect new Votann?
No,
I mean,
absolutely not. I mean, I know there'd been rumors, but I didn't actually expect them to go through that. It felt like the space squats had been squatted again, and they weren't going to get any more love after the failure that was the initial launch of it. I thought, perhaps they'd cut their losses, just write it off almost, and just phase them out as a flash in the pan kind of thing. But that said, I'm genuinely happy to see them expand on this range, because I was one of those people that was really excited for Votann. I didn't particularly like squats.
Yeah.
I thought what they did in terms of direction with Votann was really interesting. The seeds that they laid in the narrative about the ancestor calls, I'm there for. I'm still there for it. The fact that we're expanding it, the iconography, the design, the teasing artwork that they put out, all of the things that kind of just lead us. Do they have something to do with Blackstone? Do they have something to do with like the Men of Iron? Are these dudes the Men of Iron? Are like the whatever they call them, the Ironkin? Are they the Men of Iron? Are they like Throwers? I don't know, because I haven't read any of the recent lore about it. So these questions may have been answered, but I'm excited to find out myself. And dude, some of these models, yes. I mean, I have painted some.
Yeah.
Not this new stuff, but I painted I got what they're called.
I think you showed me pictures of them.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did the kill team one for my little lad.
Yeah.
Painted them like Moon Baby.
Yes, I remember you telling me about that, and I believe at the time I asked you what that was, and I forgot.
I can absolutely understand why you would not know what Moon Baby is, but it was something that
I thought that was your nickname for me.
Oh man!
But no, I think
it's not fair.
There's some pretty cool sculpts in them. I mean, it's not really been a faction that I've been particularly drawn to, but that scientist model was cool. Is it scientist?
Yes. What you mean? Hiyachi Mission?
Yeah, Hiyachi Mission. Yeah, definitely inspired by Tekken. One of the sculptors is a Tekken fan.
I think it's more than just a Tekken fan, because the Steel Jack is Jack 2, also from Tekken. It's like it's like, what are you doing? There's this space Tekken.
I mean, they're gonna have. Is it Bandai? Is it Namco? They might have a letter from Namco on the way, I think. But
yeah, especially if one of the stratagems is called Electro Wind Godfist or EWFG or something, and oh my god, you could just imagine if they instead of having charge or whatever it is in 40k, they have the, what's it called, the wave dash.
Yeah.
Oh my,
what's the other character? They had like the metal mask.
Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, but what was the Votann guy that had the metal face?
Oh,
Buri? Bury?
Yeah, the guy who was thrice swallowed or something. Yeah, the guy that being swallowed by Nid's 3 times.
Yeah, he had the metal face like Yoshihitsu did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of that model actually.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I didn't like the Tyranid on the back. I don't like his. Is it a glaive?
It is indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like a what you call it, Custodes Guardian Spear, but without the cool bit.
Yeah.
Without the bolt caster.
I can get that. I mean, what they showed, I liked that they expanded it with vehicles and such. We won't go into each of the models like we did with the AoS stuff.
Yeah.
I really liked. I think it's called Agrison. Is it Agrison?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know an awful lot about these guys.
I do wonder though, because there was in Leviathan box set and I believe some more recent models have had Tyranid bits on them.
Okay.
Like predominantly on the armor and such, and it feels like the grand narrative or whatever the 40k equivalent is leaning very heavily into Nids being something like really major over the next couple of editions. I believe like next edition's going to be back to the war in it with the orcs and such.
I think that's going to warrant another episode because we've spoken separately about our views on what's coming next in 40k, or well, maybe not 40k as such, but yeah, that'll be a cool conversation.
Yeah, we'll have that in a different episode. I think that's not too
but I mean, that was the model out of the range that I like the least.
Okay,
Bury, is it Bury?
Something like
that.
Yeah.
It looked a bit comical to me, which is very much the opposite of what I like in AoS and 40k personally. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of humor in AoS. I like my 40k to be grimdark.
Yeah. No, I'm there for it. And again, I don't think the paint schemes necessarily leaned themselves to it. I think that I do, honestly, I know we joked about it quite facetiously, but it felt like they'd leaned into to actual existing characters. The Tekken stuff was, to me, I mean,
yeah,
we're messaging backwards and forwards, aren't we? A little bit as we release.
Yeah, we
tried not to time
talk we tried not to talk too much because we wanted to have this conversation, but we initially both went
Tekken. Yeah, it's just Tekken. It's like, oh, and look, there's more Tekken. Yeah, it's like Tekken 2.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think it's cool to see a faction, that hasn't had a lot of love get a bit more love. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think they brought out enough to maybe rekindle a bit of a flame there that might have been going out. That was quite poetic, wasn't it? But yeah, I think it's interesting to see that they are spending a bit of time and attention on them.
Yeah, and they absolutely deserve it. I think in terms of 40k's faction loadout, I think the Votann have the potential to be really, really interesting. Even if not on the tabletop, I would like them to carry on producing stories and expanding on what they are, because I think the Ancestor Calls are a really interesting idea, and I think there's a dynamic there and an interplay that they need to explore between the Votann and the Tech Priests. I think I don't know, it feels like there's something there. And I want to say, not just because he's my favorite character in 40k, like Belisarius Call has something to say about it. Not just Call. I think that my other favorite character, Vashtor, and the Ancestor Calls, I think there's something there. Well, I'm a Metro. It's just like, dude, this could work. It's so much more interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think as you take a drink of water, I think, we can move on from Votann. But why don't we go to everybody's favourite, Astartes? What do you think of the new characters?
Some of them are all right.
Some of them are. I'd say, well, let's go through them.
All right.
I'm going to throw
that little.
Vulcan.
Vulcan. All right. Okay. The paint job offended me. I really did not like it. I didn't think it worked with the sculpt at all. I couldn't get past it. It was just like, wow, there's so many. It was just no.
Okay.
But the actual sculpt of it, I quite liked. What did I have for it? I don't like the Salamander's iconography. That I'm not there for on it, but I really was into the old school helmet. I like the Mark 8 helmet big time, and it just looks so much more aggressive. It's like it's just gonna. I mean, that helmet, it looks great. It's like he's striding forward with this big ass spear.
I've got this written down as well. I really like how that sculpt has been posed. I think it looks super imposing. I'm not a huge Salamanders guy, to be honest. I've got some fond memories of reading the Salamanders Omnibus that Nick Kime wrote. I think I've got that one right. I remember last week when I was talking about Grey Knights, I said it was James Swallow, and it was actually Ben Counter who wrote that. So apologies, James and Ben. But yeah, I think the sculpt looks super imposing to me, the way it was posed. I really like the texture on the cloak as well.
Yeah, the cloak was probably my least favorite element, but I can tell you why it's there, and I can genuinely imagine this guy like striding out of this inferno. I don't like that aesthetic. No, not for me. But I think the actual sculpt, I think, is really, really cool. And again, I can't restate this enough. Just give them all these helmets. Every Space Marine, this is the helmet they need.
Yeah, standard
every time. Just stop it, G-dubs. This is the one.
Are we going to drop pod? Are we going to address that? The drum pod in the background. That was my fiance dropping the dog's bowl. Let's move on. So next one was Lysander.
What do you feel about this one? I'll let you lead.
Take or leave it. It's the same as the other sculpt.
It's Targaradon, isn't it? That's all I. But I was just like, it looks the same.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of that sculpt. I'm not a fan of the Imperial Fists. I can take or leave that one. I think I'd have liked to have seen maybe something completely different, but it's not that different from the existing sculpt, is it? Or previous sculpt, I should say.
Nah.
Because it is the existing sculpt.
I think it's great that the character is getting some love, because I know he's well loved.
Yeah,
fans love him. He's a huge character in the lore, and I get that. I just think it's an injustice to the character for this sculpt. For me, perhaps when we've seen him in the hands of other artists and they paint him in a different way, perhaps get him on a more interesting base, bit of a light conversion. But it did strike me as too similar to Targaradon to kind of. Again, there was just the two very strong characters, and these were just too similar. I think they needed to be something that separates the two. I was a bit disappointed in this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think moving on to Aethon Shan. What do you think?
I'm there for this.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is a really, really good sculpt. It's dynamic. It's interesting. It's OTT.
It's massive.
It's everything that Warhammer is from it.
Yeah.
You know, this is, I know we were talking earlier about like the 80s and 90s. This is straight out of the 80s. This is like, boom. Other than his heat emo-ness that comes with that chapter, I'm there for it. It's just excess in the right way. It's not like Slaneshi excess, but you know what I mean? It's like,
it's over the top. Yeah.
It's over the top. It's fantastical. It's brutal. I can see, with the right paint scheme, some blood dripping from those claws, the feathers all like bloodied up and such. Blood.
Yeah, I mean,
blood and gore.
And centerpiece model, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can imagine that being the centerpiece of an army on a table. It's
cool.
Yeah, I think aside from the sculpt itself, some new Black Library fiction giving us some lore for this guy, because we don't know who this guy is. That'd be interesting. I forgot to say, actually, if we do go back to sculpt, he's got 3 different head options.
He does. I've got notes on this.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
I'd take the Udded head, and it would go straight onto my Dark Angels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would take his emo head.
Is that the one where it looks like he's got like what's the dude from the Human League? Phil Oakey's haircut, or is short on one side, long on the other?
Yes. Yeah, I'd take that head and I would throw it in the bin.
Showing my age now.
On my biz box. And then I would take the other head and I'd use that perhaps on an apothecary or something, but I would definitely put like with a Mark 8 helmet on it or something. It'd be great. Or perhaps even a Reaver helmet.
Oh yeah, Reaver helmet little, actually.
I'm down for that. But I'd make it like, rather than a normal skull, I'd make it a bird skull.
What's the other Raven Guard guy? He's got a Reaver helmet, hasn't he?
Kamina Shrike?
Yeah, does he have a Reaver helmet? Have I made that
I don't know.
No. I don't know.
I'd be tempted to do, you know, like a Plague Doctor?
Yeah.
Or perhaps, I don't know if there's an helmet that I've already seen that perhaps has this from another kit. It might be a Puppets of War helmet that's got like a beak, like an actual bird bone beak on it.
Oh, okay.
Because they did some, I'd definitely do a head swap. That is the one thing I don't like. I don't like any of the heads other than the hooded one, and I put on my Dark Angels because hoods.
Okay, cool.
What about good old Canuck Var then?
Again, this is one I can take or leave. What's the thing in his hand? Is it a Tetsubo? I want to say that's what it is. The power Tetsubo.
Yes.
His weapon. I mean, it looks like a big Lego piece. I mean, I'm not a big iron hands kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm not. I like his servo skull.
Yeah.
That's actually his servo skull's attached to him by the looks of it. So if a servo skull is attached to the dude with a wire that goes into him, is it then a mechadendrite?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know.
I don't know either, and I want to know. Is it mechadendrite? I don't know. Does anybody know? Does anybody know if am I talking complete rubbish?
Well, let us know. I don't know actually.
Don't let me know if I'm talking rubbish. But
Well, I'll have to have a
I want to know.
we'll Google afterwards. But yeah, if anybody knows, tell us because
I have to hit Lexicanum up. I don't know if they'll know. But yeah, that's an intriguing one. And last but not least, then what's the
Saboden Khan?
yes?
Yeah?
Yes.
Is that how you say
the
it?
White Scars chap.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I really like the style of that one. I'm not a White Scars kind of guy. I like his bike. I mean, it put me in mind of Star Wars Episode 1. It looks like he's ready for the Boon to Eve Classic on some sort of pod racer for anybody that might know that reference. I'm assuming a lot of you will. But yeah, it reminded me. I can't remember whose pod racer it reminded me of, but it did. But I like that, the grav bike. Is that what you call them?
Let's go with yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
yeah, it looks like the ones that kind of like the ones that the Custodies rock
Yeah.
rather than the Outriders, doesn't it? I never understood why they still have wheels when they've got the grab box, but
that's true. I mean, what I like about that is I think you could use that for conversions.
you know what? This is exactly what I thought when I looked at this model.
I know where you're going with this.
Go on, where do you think I'm going? I'm interested.
You're thinking Dark Angels, aren't you?
I'm thinking of that specifically. Go on. He's not got a carry. He's not got a re-release anyway. He has had one in.
Oh, is it the dude on the bike?
Samuel.
Samuel. Yeah. That is a bit of a derpy sculpt, that one, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
an old
it
one.
is. It is an old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. You tempted?
Absolutely tempted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, I didn't think that. Yeah, I mean, I think it lends itself to being a really cool sort of centerpiece model. But yeah, I looked at that and thought I would use that for anything but White Scar. But
I just don't like White Scars. I don't like anything about them. I don't like the armor color. I don't like the sigil. They're not for me. They're not for me, but this model is kind of cool.
do you know what? If we're talking just generally on White Scars, it's not an army I don't think I've ever seen in the flesh apart from I don't think I ever have seen it in the flesh. I don't think I've ever been into a Games Workshop and seen anybody playing with White Scars ever. And I mean, I don't go out the house that much, but I used to when I was younger. But I don't recall ever seeing anybody playing with White Scars in the
They
flesh.
seem to have had a real resurgence past couple of years. They seem to have come back out. I remember seeing them like literally in Rogue Trader, I think it was.
Yeah.
When I first got into it. So I'll have been in like 87, 88. So I'll have been like 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. I remember seeing the paint scheme because I think they had like a double page spread on the old Rogue Trader with all of the different chapters.
This was literally before I was born, so
Yeah, cheers, dude.
only just.
I know, just like white, don't like it. White and red.
It's not the white that puts me off. I quite like white power armor, but yeah, there's just something about them. It's strange because I love motorbikes and I love motorbike racing. You would think that I would gravitate towards that. Outside of Warhammer, I do. I love motorbikes and motorbike racing. Very good. But yeah, it's never been a faction I've gravitated towards. But no, I like that model. I really like the bike. Yeah, I think if I was ever going to get that, it would be on a conversion basis. So.
What for?
Apparently for Ravenwing. No, I mean, we will definitely talk about this in future, but we have a big Dark Angels fan over here, so I'm sure he will like to share this with you all at some point. But yeah, I don't know, actually. In terms of Space Marines, if I did go for anything, I don't think it would be Dark Angels. Personally. Probably because you love them, but yeah, I don't know, actually. That's a conversation for another time.
It is. We will definitely talk about Space Marines in an upcoming episode. So I think we've given AoS a lot of love, but talking about Space Marines right now, I think we should, because another game that I love.
Yep.
Kill Team.
Yep. I think that. Yeah, I saw this. I mean, Kill Team isn't something I've ever played. You've played quite a lot of it, haven't you?
Yeah. I got back into it with Kill Team 21.
Mhm.
which seems like a long time ago now. Right? I remember I smashed out the box in a weekend for a video, and I learned to play. I did a learn to play series of it, and because I wanted to learn to play from the previous edition, and it was 40k light previously, and this Kill Team 21 brought it into a new game engine almost. It was different. It was totally different, and I loved the cinematic experience of it. I love the fact that I could make my little army or my little kill team of Dark Angels, even though it wasn't very flavorful in that particular edition. But yeah, I played a fair wad of Kill Team, and I was very excited to see the what I feel is a return to form after like the current edition is great and fine. I like it. I like the aesthetic. I like the revised rule set. They've streamlined it. They've clarified a lot of things that were there, and it seemed to cause problems in the community with the previous edition. I have opinions on that we could talk about later on. I don't, but because that was kind of my introduction to it, I didn't really have that legacy of all of that understanding that caused those problems. So I totally get why they've got rid of those issues. But
yeah, I mean, I don't have a reference point apart from the current edition. I have the rulebook. I have a kill team ready to go, essentially. We are going to play it at some point, and no doubt we'll talk about it. But as far as 40k goes, I'm a guard man. So, you know, I think it's a cool looking kill team. I really do like the idea of a Death Watch. And I think arguably, I think it's something that I could see myself doing. But yeah, what do you think to that?
I'm there for it, mate.
Yeah.
Dude, this kill team is just, I mean, like everything about this, I am there for. I love the sculpts.
Yeah.
Mate, I can't, like, yes. Yeah.
I do have one comment on one of these sculpts.
Is it Space Wolf?
Yeah, the Space Wolf. I think he looks like Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I can't unsee it now.
That's
I can't unsee it.
But no, I mean, I really like the terrain looks cool. You know, the board. I think I mentioned it earlier. I'm not a Necron fan, but I really like that. Do you call it a board? The terrain?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that. You know, we both have some kill team terrain anyway, don't we? So I don't know if either of us is going to be in a rush to go and buy this set, but I think it looks super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of things to unpack there, and I think if you watched the preview show, there were some community questions, and some of those were answered on there. But I think it's worth just chatting around them. I mean, so for anybody that didn't see that or hasn't checked Warhammer community recently, so it's Death Watch versus a Necron kill team, and it's basically set on a Necron Blackstone ship kind of thing, a Necron Tomb World complex, and it looks cool. But to me, as soon as I saw it, other than the kill teams, which do look great, straight away I was like, oh, it's just Galadark 2.0. It's corridors and doors.
Yeah.
However, they said it's not exactly the same, so there are some changes. But yeah, you're right. Would I get this set? I don't know. I feel like I want to, because it's one of the very few GW authentic terrain kits that isn't Imperial.
Yeah.
There's hardly any. And we saw the last one that I can think of is another Kill Team terrain kit, and that was with the launch of the previous edition of Kill Team, which was Kill Team 21, which was the Octaria, so it came with the Orc terrain.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is still pretty much Imperial. It's just it's a coat of paint on Imperial terrain, whereas this
Actually, the one I got, it's down there. I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, I'm pointing. Is it down there? Can you see it? I bought it, but it's still in the box. We've not got around to Kill Team yet.
I can't quite see it.
But I mean, again, we're going to do a unified basing theme on that. I think I'm going to be going Krieg to start off with, but we're going to, share a basing theme. So that kind of makes sense for us for now. So maybe it's something that we do down the line. But I think it's cool. Again, though, I think if we went halves on that box, who's going to draw the short straw and play Necrons?
You know what? I do like the Necron team in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's great. I don't think I would. You're absolutely right. I think if this is a jumping on point, and it remains to be seen what the rules differences are, but I don't feel like having a full painted, completed and custom board for Galadark. I need this specifically just for a different aesthetic.
Okay.
I think if we were going to get it, and this is a big hypothetical if, it'd be one of those things, whereas if we played at mine, we'd play on the Galadark terrain. If we played here and you had it and you got the terrain, we'd play on the Necron terrain.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see what the differences in the terrain are. But I've literally got all of the Gallo Dark all painted, all of the different editions with the breakable walls. So we've got all of that. Should we want to explore that game with the current rule set, which is what we were planning to do, and I think we should do.
Yeah.
But looking at the models specifically, both of the kill teams in this box are really, really good, man.
Yeah,
They just look great. Even Necrons, and I'm not.
yeah. Do you know what, the Necrons do have quite a nice variety in there? You know, which isn't really what my view of Necrons is. Variety, you know. But I really like the Death Watch though. I think it's a really cool star set. I think if anybody wanted to get into it and split half the cost with a mate, I think, you know, I know that Necrons are a popular faction, just not for me. So I think it's a smart move to release this box. You know, I think it'll sell really well. You know, I think judging by how it looks and what I've seen online, people are excited for it.
I think as a vehicle for releasing interesting models, Kill Team is perfect. And I think this is where Warcry really stood out, and perhaps just not to the same level as Kill Team as. People love 40k. 40k is the more popular setting right now. I get that. That's fine. I'm there for it. I love 40k lore just as much as I love AoS lore. I love a lot of things about that setting. As a game, I think Kill Team is great as well.
Yeah.
Because it gives you, and the sculptors, much like they've done with Underworlds, they have a little bit more creative freedom. They haven't got to have that same level of uniformity and things.
Yeah.
You can do something really interesting and really diverse. And you can see it in the Space Marines. How generic is a Space Marine?
This is true.
Yeah. And look at these guys. Each one of them has a flavour of the faction they come from. Even the Space Wolf, that for some reason has a thunder hammer rather than an axe, and it clearly should have an axe. Not that there's anything wrong with thunder hammers, because
it's because
awesome.
it's Dr. Zaius.
It is because it's Dr. Zaius.
I get your point. I think for me, Kill Team. Why is the Gaunt Ghost box not a Kill Team? I know that's a very different topic, but that winds me up on a daily basis because, I mean, Gaunt Ghosts are some of my favorite Black Library novels. I love the sculpts on their models. Why are they not a Kill Team? They should be a Kill Team. Make it happen, somebody.
See, I don't get it either, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent on this, but I'm just going to say, like, Kill Team has been co-opted by the Guard people at Games Workshop that love Imperial Guard for whatever reason to just release Imperial Guard armies or Kill Teams. It's like, enough. Just stop it now.
No, I want more.
Stop it. Give over.
Give us a minute.
Just do like Cursed City Guard edition or something.
Oh, I'd probably
Cursed Underhive. I don't care what you call it. Just step away from Kill Team. There's other stuff in the universe other than Imperial Guard and your 49,000 different flavors. I like Ice Cream. It's like, stop it. We don't need rum and raisin.
I mean, if you're trying,
we don't need triple chocolate Imperial Guard.
I'm sorry, if you're trying to turn me off the idea of Imperial Guard by comparing it to Ice Cream, which is arguably one of my favorite things in the world, then you're not doing a good job.
I'm not trying to turn you off. It's just, it's a missed. I feel it's a missed opportunity for Games Workshop. I mean, let me just put this out there, and then we'll move on. Legion of the Damned Kill Team. We're never going to get an entire faction of it. Just gives the Kill Team a fantastic Legion of the Damned sculpts and skulls.
Okay.
Just do that. Do that. Wonderful.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps that bit up quite nicely.
What else did we have then in this release? We had another couple of bits and pieces, didn't we? Shall we talk about some of those?
Yeah, we did. We had the Scouring.
Oh, the Black Library.
The new Black Library stuff. I think that's probably going to be more up my street than yours.
It is indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I've absolutely smashed through the Horus Heresy novels. I really like them lore-wise. I'm not too fussed about the game itself or the miniatures, but I really like the lore. So yeah, I'm excited to see. It's, multi-book, isn't it? Multi-author series, I believe. The aftermath of the Siege of Terror.
That's more than I knew about.
Yeah,
I was going to ask what it was actually setting-wise, where it's at.
Yeah, it's the aftermath of the Siege of Terror. So it'll be traitor legions sort of fleeing in disarray, and then what the remaining loyalists do. I think from what I've read on Warcom, it's going to have different perspectives. It's going to have some key characters and some new sort of named characters, fleshing them out a bit. So yeah, I'm interested to see that. How everybody deals with what's happened to the Emperor. We saw what's happening now. and what's next. I mean, we kind of know, but it'd be interesting to see it from a different perspective. What did they say? They said something like, we'll meet a new cast of characters. Do you know what? I can pull it up here, can't I? Bitter Iron Warrior Ortag Theocon, a word bearer, a librarian of the Ultramarines, which I'm not too fussed about. But yeah, I think, you're going to get some cool stories. There'll be some sort of, revenge going on, won't they? There'll be a lot of. It'd be interesting to see some of the point of view stuff from maybe a Baden's perspective. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think it's probably ones that I will get in physical form. I do have quite a lot of the Horus Heresy novels. I have lent quite a lot to one of my friends, which I'm probably going to get them back from him because I might try and get the full collection eventually. Probably just get them secondhand. All mine are dog-eared because I've read them time and time again. But yeah, I think I'll get the physical copies and I'm looking forward to reading them actually.
Yeah, I've got another friend that is hugely into the Black Library stuff. He tells me lots of good things, and like yourself, he's excited as well for this new.
I think some of the Horus Heresy novels are probably some of my favorite Black Library books. That's hard to say, Black Library books. So yeah. I'm excited. I mean, I think they'll knock them out the park. And, as long as they choose the right authors for the right stories, I'm dead excited for it.
It's good. I want to be, and I think I'll be excited by proxy through you and the other chap that I talked to about them. I'll get through osmosis. I have listened to some of the current or old Black Horus Heresy series.
Yeah.
A couple of select characters that I've had an interest in, Mortarion and those ones. I've listened to some of them, but
it really changed my view on a lot of the characters. Khan especially, some of the, and we're digressing onto some of the older stuff here, but yeah, the reading things from Khan's perspective in the Heresy was super cool. A lot of unexpected things. Angron as well, all of it. I mean, that's a different conversation, but yeah, I'm super excited to see where they're going to go next with it, to be honest. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be good. I like the idea of this huge overarching book series. I hope they do one for 40k.
Yeah.
And also Age of Sigmar. And please, Games Workshop, just release them faster on Audible, because some of us don't read as fast as other people when it's not rules, and it would take me literally 40,000 years to get through the novels. So
it's strange, isn't it? You're very much an audiobook kind of guy, but I can't focus on an audiobook. I have to, read the physical book.
Yeah, I can read fast, I can't read for some reason.
I think
fiction.
I absorb fiction faster when I'm physically reading it rather than listening to it. I zone out if I'm listening.
I really like to listen to audiobooks while I'm painting, especially if it's something that I'm spending time painting to a high quality. Yeah. I love it. And that's why I like long form podcasts. That's one of the inspirations that inspired me to want to do a podcast. It's because like a lot of them
it's a good job you like long form podcasts. We've been going a while.
Well, yeah, that's what she said. Get it? Well, come on. Oh, he said, it's
2025, come on.
It is. Or you rolled for it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, Black Library, happy time. That was all that was announced for Black Library, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Was it Ashes of the Imperium? Said later this year, so I'll be keeping an eye out for that.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'll look forward to hearing what you've got to say. So on that timeline kind of thing, we've got 30k, wasn't there? The Age of Darkness 3.0. I know this has caused a lot of controversy in the community.
I mean, again, it's not something that we actually play. And to be honest, I don't think it will be unless you're. Yeah,
I have literally no interest in playing 30k.
If they did something similar to Kill Team in 30k, I might think about it. But I mean, I just love the lore of it. I've got no real interest in playing that mass. I don't know how many points standard game of 30k is. I'm gonna guess it's quite high. Quite high model count. It doesn't really appeal to me. So
yeah. Some of the models are cool.
Yeah.
I think, perhaps. Again, I've got another friend that really likes the aesthetic. So shout out to Bigza if you're ever listening to this. So he also likes Imperial Fist and stuff. He likes, so it's the same chap that likes the Horus Heresy novels and such. I'm happy for him. I'm excited for him. He's into this sort of thing. I the aesthetic of it. He really liked the jump pack guys, and he was like waxing lyrical about that. Really into it. I don't see it.
So they're really circular.
Yeah, it's not for me. But you know, I like the scale of it. I do like that. I would like to see some of the 40k characters that are still firstborn. Yeah, upscale, looking a bit better. So I'm thinking Grey Knights.
No,
You know, bit topical there. We won't touch on that this episode, but yeah, perhaps because they did the Fallen looked a little bit better. They're still firstborn, I think. So yeah, but there's nothing there for me in Horus Heresy. So I don't. Shall we skip over that one and move to?
Yeah, I think so.
Legions Imperialis.
Yeah, I mean this one. If you've got anything to say, I don't. It's never really appealed to me. It's not something that I've ever even thought about getting into. So yeah, you take the reins on this one.
Right. So the setting, obviously 30k. I'm not right interested. However, Mastodons are my favorite vehicle in 40k. Yeah, they're my favorite vehicle in 40k. So I loved seeing those. I have a 40k one. Got a Forge World one that I paid way too much money for.
How long ago was that?
Not very. No, months.
Oh, okay.
I got it second hand. I say I paid way too much money for it. I got it at a reasonable price.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us. Just
ish.
If it was reasonable to you, then
it was viable to me. It was to be fair, it was something of a trade as well. So yeah, I parted with a little cash and some Dark Angels.
The Mastodon's the one where it opens at the front.
Yes. Yeah, you smash it through a wall. It's like Siege Tank, and it's like boom, and all your Marines run out of it.
That's the one. Yeah.
I just think it looks. I just think it honestly looks peak 40k to me.
Do you know? I mean, it gives me separatist tank vibes.
It does.
Big one battle droids.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. I mean, I'm a big Star Wars guy. That's not what we're talking about, but that's what I think about when I see it.
Absolutely, man. I'm there for that. I genuinely love the design of this tank. So this kind of appealed to me.
Yeah.
Though I'm not there for the game. Yeah, like I say, epic scale stuff, Legion Imperialis scale, Aeronautica, that sort of gaming system doesn't do it for me. But it's really nice to see it getting continued support as well, because I think for the people out there that do like to play this kind of game, and I like to see it on the tabletop, I think it looks impressive. I've been to a couple of conventions and I've seen boards of Legions Imperialis, and it looks stunning.
We saw some at Warhammer World, didn't we?
We did indeed, yeah.
And I was surprised at how much. I don't know why it was my first trip. I mean, we're going to talk about this at another time. But when we were in the shop down there, I was surprised at the range that they had.
Yeah.
You know, it was in quite a prominent place. You know, within the shop, and it was quite cool to look at the miniatures because I'd never seen them in the flesh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely see why people are interested in it, but I don't have the time or the money to introduce another game into the mix.
But it's a space as well. But I mean, this is one of those things where if we went to a club or something and we had a table or something, you know, or the club had a table, that'd be something that I would like to work on as a community project. Perhaps like down at Murphyall, I know there's a couple of things going on there.
Yeah.
When they move to the new building, I don't know. I would love to be involved in something like that and perhaps have a go at Imperialis.
Yeah.
But the setting wise, it doesn't do anything for me. I would be interested perhaps in an AoS variant of that, like epic scale. They did do that back in the day as well.
Did they?
Yeah, they did an epic scale fantasy.
Oh, I don't know that.
Perhaps it's something we should talk about, or perhaps we'll
give me some homework when we're off mic.
It was very good.
How long ago are we talking for that?
Oh,
like a way back.
Back in the day.
I was back in the
Probably you were still nigh to a hobgrot.
Very good.
So I think that was everything for the major release, to be honest, that we need to talk about. So it was a good summer preview. There was some good stuff, there's some bad stuff. I think we've had some highs and lows. I think I was a little bit more excited than a lot of it than you.
Yeah, I think for me it was a strange feeling of I was disappointed with the dwarves, but it galvanized my choice on my next way forward with AoS. So bittersweet. You know, I made the right choice in choosing what I did with Nighthaunt, which we'll go into at another time. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to like them Chaos Dwellers. I know it's not all about me; it's just my opinion, but I think they'll sell well. People seem to be super excited online, so if it's making people happy, then it's cool. And I'd like to, once they're out, I'm interested to see what people do with the paint schemes. I've seen people mocking them up on some of that editing software that you see. People have done them in the more traditional Chaos Dwarf colours, and that looks quite good. And people have done some, completely out there colour schemes. So yeah, once people start converting them, start painting them in different ways, I'm excited to see that, and excited to read some of the lore about them, because I like the idea more than the execution, let's say.
Totally, and I'm there with you for that. I'm hoping that Miniature of the Month at Games Workshop at some point in the near future, when they drop, will likely be one of those as well. So
Good shout.
I may have to brave going into a Games Workshop and interacting with somebody to grab one of those. 'Cause
We can go together for moral support if you want.
offer model support.
We could.
Yeah, I would like to pick one up and have a go at painting one. And like I say, I can't wait for them to get into the community. So one of the things with the Games Workshop range is sometimes the photography is not great.
Yeah.
I know I get stick off of a friend for this, for changing my opinions on stuff when I see stuff in hand.
Yeah.
And that's true. It is subjective. Sometimes you do change your opinion, but I don't think Games Workshop necessarily do the best job sometimes with conveying their products across the range to all of the target audiences.
Yeah.
I think it would be great to see them do heavy metal paint jobs in a number of styles
Yeah.
with the heavy metal style, but to lean in towards different parts of the community and the different marketing channels. I think that would give people a much more accurate representation of like those models. And like I say, regardless of what we think, I do think that Games Workshop still consistently make the best plastic kits out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm there for that. I was excited for this, but the thing that I've taken away from it and I'm most excited about is being able to kind of move forward with gaming. I think it's great that you have decided now that you're going at night on, and I think that is absolutely the right decision, by the way, dude. Seeing you get excited when you talk about it, you can see like the look on your face that seems to be the army that you want to go for. So I'm not going to not support you in that. I think you should absolutely rule of cool it, and you do you, man. Go for it.
I mean, my fire slayers aren't going anywhere. I think I am going to lean heavier into the night art though. I think this is a conversation we're going to have separately, but we're going to talk about our upcoming Path to Glory ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we can make this cool.
Absolutely. Right, before we finish off then, let's just round it out with a couple of things.
Yeah.
Firstly, what do you think, you guys that listen to this, do you like longer shows like this where we're just chatting? Do you like something less structured? Give us some feedback, because we would like to do this. I think carry on doing it, definitely. And just like what we'd want to talk about was a load of things that we would want to explore and bounce backwards and forwards between us. Is that the kind of things that you guys want to listen to? Because at the end of the day, if nobody's going to listen, we don't want to do it anyway. It's just a waste of time. But if there are things that you guys are interested in and you like and enjoy listening to two middle-aged men talk about war dollies, we're happy to do that. I don't want to go down the route, I think, of like reviewing stuff every month or whatever the current meta and stuff is. I think it's a better listening experience for you guys. I don't know about you, Will, if we're our authentic self and we just want to talk about that stuff. So I suppose we're asking for permission.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. If you've listened to, the other podcasts that we put out, we just want to talk about these things because we get excited about them. And we know we're not the only people in the world that like it on the level that we do. We're not meta chasers. We like the lore. We're very casual. We've got, we're two grown men. We've got lives. We work full time, families, all that stuff. So, this is an escape for us, and this is what we do in our free time. And we just want to have fun. So yeah, thank you if you have been listening this far. We've had so many more people listen at this point than we thought we would have. So, but we would like some input from you. So if you've got any ideas, any preferences, we do have another episode in the bag that we are going to release, which is, I'd say it's probably a little more structured. Than this one. So, listen, keep your eye out for that and let us know which sort of format you prefer. We're all ears basically. But yeah, and if you've got any hot sauce recommendations, do drop us a comment or drop us an email to Warhammer and Wings @gmail.com, and we can give that a go.
Yeah, do that, because we need to expand our hot horse
Yeah, we do.
repertoire and then map that to specific characters and possibly some type of scale, like a Scoville scale, but a hot sword scale for, I don't know, for cool models or something.
Yeah, we'll think on that. But yeah, there's definitely something there in there. But yeah, in the next episode, there is a little bit more on the hot sauce side of things where we do have a little bit of fun with that. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. We post that on Instagram if you can. If you found this organically without social media somehow, do drop us a follow if you can. Drop us a like, give us a comment. Let us know what you liked and didn't like. We'd really appreciate that.
Apparently, the reviews thing is what we should be telling people. Oh, I had a shout. So if you want to leave us a review on anything, we do need to get on Apple Podcasts because we're not on Apple Podcasts.
So not yet.
No, we should sort
They
that
don't
out.
make it easy, do they?
No, it's not fun. But leave us a review. That would be good.
But yeah, we want to talk to you as well. So, leave us a comment, drop us an email. We'd like to know, what do you guys want to hear from us? If you like listening to us, let us know what you want us to talk about and we'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. Right. Shall we do it? We've talked for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. You'll need to be getting home shortly as well.
I will.
Or you'll be in trouble.
Well, I think she'll be in bed now. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Will. No, thank you for the wings. It's good. Right, let's wrap this up. We'll speak to you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, speak to you soon.